What's happening, everybody? This is Blair Johnson welcoming you in for another episode of Badass Records. Pleased to share with you that my guest this week is Morgen Agesen. She is the executive assistant for Art Garden KC, which can be found at artgardenkc.org or anywhere on the socials using the handle at artgardenkc. They are an operation that puts together, produces, assembles affordable and unique pop-up markets and festivals that bring together local artists, vendors, and community members. So please check them out. Podcast episodes air Thursdays. Website where everything lives is badassrecordspodcast.com. To get in touch with me, it's badassrecordspodcast@gmail.com. Keep tabs if you choose to do so on the socials, on Instagram or Twitter. I think that's all I got for you. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. Nevertheless, Morgen Agesen.
Yes.
Agesen.
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Think of like Agesen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Like
tough.
the
It's tough though. That age.
Yeah,
stands
I
out.
know. People want to say age sin.
Yeah.
And I totally get why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Well, thank you very much for being here
Yeah.
and giving me a little bit of your Saturday.
Yeah.
Art Garden KC.
Yeah.
Artgardenkc.org and Art Garden KC on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You got it
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, we got it all. Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. You are the executive assistant?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So we specialize in organizing affordable and unique pop-up markets and festivals that bring together local artists, vendors, and the community.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It's fantastic, man.
It's super cool.
Yeah, it's I will say that it's not something that I've been a part of since day one, but it was crucial in my artistic development.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. So I started with Art Garden as a vendor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
How long ago are we talking?
2 years.
And how long had they been around at that point?
I think they were around for 2 years when I joined 2 years ago.
Okay.
Or maybe they were established for 2 or 3 years.
Sure.
I joined. This is the 5th season.
Okay. I mean, you're a vet.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Slightly. I would say that I'm a seasoned vendor, but more so because I've really vended a lot of places, not just with Art Garden, but I made really good connections inside of Art Garden, and friendships blossomed and things of that nature. And then Bethany and I kind of realized that we would make a really great team, and then it just kind of it happened naturally, and here I am.
It's the best way.
Yeah, for sure.
Repeat that again for me, please. You feel like your development as an artist?
Yeah, it was crucial. Yeah, Art Garden was crucial to my development as an artist. I will say, just to be straightforward and blunt, before I picked my art career back up, I was like heavy into alcoholism. I was not doing well.
Okay.
I had just lost a job as a bartender.
Okay.
Go figure. Right. And I was just kind of at a standstill in my life where I was like, what do I need to be doing? And so I returned to my craft, and I spent maybe like 2 or 3 months like busting out paintings, just working nonstop.
Like oil, acrylic?
Okay. Large acrylic paintings.
Okay.
First of its kind. I had never done anything like it before. And then I slowly got into vending and live painting and things of that nature. And then my friend...
Live paint? You're painting in front of people?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very fun. Very fun thing to do. Very humbling to the process. And you realize that, like, art is not pretty throughout the entire process.
Sure.
And people don't have vision. So when people are walking by and it's just the beginning and you're like, things aren't looking great, they're like, what is this lady doing?
Mm-hmm.
But then later on, they'll see the final product and they're like, oh my God, it went from a orange square to this is incredible, you know. But I do live painting, and that typically comes with like a booth setup.
Yeah.
So it is vending. And then I vend, and it was suggested to me to check out Art Garden. And the very first time that I did, I sold a really large piece for a considerable amount of money.
Are these all one-of-ones? I mean, you don't have prints or
I do have prints.
Oh, okay.
But the canvas piece, I won't, you know, that's one of one. I'm not going to reproduce, you know.
Right.
But I sold my biggest piece ever at Art Garden KC the very first time I set up.
Really?
And it was like a very monumental moment for me. It was, hey, like this is possible. Not only can you make a career out of this, but you can be good at this.
Cool.
And so I wouldn't be where I am today without Art Garden. So it's so incredible to be in it in this way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you say you picked your craft back up.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that you intentionally set it
Set
down.
down. No, I had a baby.
Okay.
Yeah. Like everything pauses when you have children. So for about 2 or 3 years, I took a hiatus from everything except for motherhood, and then and drinking, and then was like, hey, things need to change.
Sure.
And I want to say I'm probably like 450 days sober now, so we're a little bit over a year. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we're doing good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But yeah, a lot of it is dedicated to Art Garden, and also Art Garden being accessible. That's a huge part of their mission. And if they weren't accessible, then like, again, like the trajectory of my career would not have been where it is without it being so warm and welcoming, financially accessible, and man, just, you know, I mean, just there. Yeah. Them just being them and being there is such a service to the community.
That's super cool. I don't use this word a lot because it sometimes offends people, but in my own relationship with alcohol, how is social me going to maneuver any element of social life?
Right.
So I just choose to be a pussy and hide behind that.
Yeah.
Because it's so I can't. Trying to wrap my head around it is too much, and so I mean, there's a pretty healthy lane on TikTok, and you know, folks share their story, and oftentimes the number of days, and it's helpful in the sense that other folks have, you know, that same reason or other reasons or a mix of reasons.
Or just like seeing a success rate almost.
Yes. Yeah. So was there a switch that flipped or
110%?
Okay. If you don't want to stay in this topic,
I'm totally fine.
Okay.
I think that it should be shared
for
sure. But I will say that like not to be like crude, but like it is a choice. Every day you wake up and you choose to return to something you know isn't good for you. You choose to like fall back into something because it's comfortable, and because you know change is hard, and when things are hard, people just refuse to try. And I think that it all comes down to self-discipline and wanting to be a better individual. You know what I mean? So sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I think that a big part of it for me was wanting to be better for my daughter. And if I didn't have art, and if I didn't have Art Garden, and if I didn't have all of these things that Kansas City provides, man, it would be a whole lot harder. That's for sure. I think that a key part of it is to get inspired, and I think that's why a lot of people turn to religion. And I did seek religion and I still do. I'm a very spiritually open individual.
Sure.
So talking to, or just like a general praying.
Yeah. You don't have to go to a building or talk to a person
absolutely.
or read a book.
Your relationship with your God is in here.
Yeah.
It's not, and it can be like community is a beautiful thing. But I think that it was honing in, and it was making that choice every day, and just deciding like, I'm not going to like succumb to this anymore. This no longer has power over me, and I'm going to continue to make that choice every day. And like, I've seen alcoholism take people, and I've watched people die from, probably 2 or 3 people that I've known in my life now, die from liver failure because they just cannot, make it through that. And addiction runs in my family. So I was like, if I don't stop now, this is where I will be. And yeah, it was a hard choice, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard every day.
I'm sure.
Everybody wants a margarita with their tacos. That's just how it goes. I want a beer with my buffalo wings every time I sit down. But I make the choice not to do that, because Morgan, who has one beer, is Morgan who wants another beer, and then another beer, and another beer. And then that Morgan is mean. And I'm not mean. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. The last thing I want to do is have to wake up the next day and say I was wrong. Women like to be right.
Really?
So I got tired.
That hasn't been my experience at all.
I got tired of being like, man, I was mean, and I said and I did horrible things. And not only do I know that I was wrong, but now I've hurt somebody. And so, like,
fucking shame.
You know what I mean? The shame.
So heavy.
And I'm not just gonna push it down. Like, I'm gonna own it and be better.
Yeah.
Because that is the only thing that's, to me, seems like the only right path. Every other path seems muddy and gross. This one seems like I don't gotta put my galoshes on. All right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a choice. I think it boils down to, it's a choice. Happiness is a choice. The way that you see things is a choice. What you do every day, I don't think that like manifestation is momentum. You don't just get to say every day that like, oh, I'm manifesting all of this stuff because I'm thinking about it. What are you doing? What are you doing every day to manifest the momentum to get to where you want to go? You can't manifest your dreams by literally getting drunk all the time.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, either I'm going to do what I'm here to do, and I'm going to help people, and I'm going to be good, or I'm going to rot in a pool of addiction, like I've seen so many people before me do. So, yeah, the people of Art Garden, the art community, and everything, that saved me hardcore.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm very passionate about these people, and oh my God, just doing the best I can for them, and like doing it with honor. And
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Justice, really, like bringing these people, all the opportunity they deserve beyond myself. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm an artist. I want to paint. I want to be paid to paint. But like, there's nothing better than like seeing somebody be like, oh my God, no, you're really, lining them up with an opportunity, and them feeling validated, and like seeing, I don't know. It's just so good. It's good. It's so good.
So much good stuff in there.
I'm so sorry. No. I didn't mean to get emotional
no,
right away.
It's totally fine.
It is definitely an emotional journey, though. Like,
oh my gosh,
I care about this job. It's not just like, oh, we do this and it's really cool and I'm happy to be a part of it. Like, I am very deeply passionate about like this job and the art community, and doing for that community, not just being a part of it, but serving it in a way where like I'm giving back and blooming more opportunities for other people.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not trying to draw a comparison here, but
No, yeah, please do. I love that. I think like it's a good way to connect. So
the
it's okay.
I did a number of years, decades in the hospitality industry, service industry, mostly back of the house, but some front of the house too.
Okay.
There's my last position in that field. The GM that I chefed for is still in it and has a spot in the Brookside Art Fair, which is happening.
Oh, that's cool. Right now.
It's happening right now.
Yeah.
And you know, I was thinking about, well, a number of different things leading up to you getting here, but just with the timing piece, like there's just such a procrastinator in me, and it spills out into other. So, like, my daughter, who, like her father, loves to sleep in. So, I mean, you can't sleep till noon tomorrow if we're going to go get gifts for the girls for next door. And I woke her at 10:45, and we're like trying to get her fed and out the door and blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And this GM, reached out, hey, do you want to work because I worked the art fair last year for them, and he reached out a week ago, and I was like, man, he wanted me for Friday night and Saturday day, and I was like, we have a play, and I have an interview, there's a party, I just can't. So we left to go get this present, and oh shit, right, I forgot, the art fair's happening. And so I'm like, in that procrastination think piece, just I've had folks who are like fucking planners.
Yeah.
Their shit's done 2 weeks, and I'm always like, can I touch you? Are you real? Yeah.
Real? Yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah.
But I've not so much recently, but pre-kids and when kids were little would go to the Brookside Art Fair and push a stroller around or whatever, and always the same thought, like, who's rolling in here buying shit that's thousands of, like, honestly,
dude, it happens.
I know
it happens.
I know.
The first time I set up, I sold I want to say it was like 45 by 58. I don't know. That could be a silly, maybe 45 by 54. That sounds right. I have a thing for 9s. I like 4 and 5, so that sounds right. We're just gonna go with that. I sold it for $12.50, and I was astounded. And this was like, I was all day. I was like, for the love of God, please, I need money. I am the definition of a starving artist right now, and there's food trucks lined up behind me, and I need money. And this lovely couple came. They bought 2 prints of it. And I gave them a card, and like 30 minutes later they text me and they were like, hey, like we think we really want to buy it. And
wait, they bought 2 prints and then they wanted the original?
Yes.
Are they going to gift the prints?
Yes.
Okay.
They decided to gift the prints after. But it was like 20 minutes later they Venmo'd me. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, is this real life? Pinch me, am I dreaming?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be gross, but I felt like a rush to my loins.
Yes, I know, right? No, money does it. It was fantastic. It was incredibly inspiring, and like just last night at First Fridays, there are vendors that walk out, making $400, $700, $800 in a night. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
especially at like First Fridays where there's 20,000, 30,000 people in foot traffic, going between a few different blocks in Kansas City, you have an incredible amount of opportunity to network and sell. And if there, at least for me, when I was a vendor, if there was ever a day where I didn't do well and maybe I only sold 1 or 2 prints and I hadn't sold an original in a while, I was like constantly meeting these really cool people that would always lead to something different. So if you're not selling, you're It's like the difference between like give and receive.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Oh my
not
God.
giving, you're receiving.
We got home, and there's a couple of bins of gift bags.
Yeah.
You know, and you need to wrap this and blah blah. And I was like, you need me to get the gift bag bins? Yeah. And we went in there, and I was like, shit, we're totally out of tissue paper. You're gonna have to score some from your mom's house or something like that.
Right.
And we just sort of paused, standing there in the storage room, and she was like trying to articulate this feeling that she was having, and I was like, I don't know what it is, but I hope that it's you sort of sliding into that, not completely, but just a little,
Like almost like I want my gift to be good.
of realizing that gifting is better than receiving.
It is.
And she looked at me like, you know, and I was like, dude, like, that doesn't mean you don't get to like getting gifts.
No.
Getting gifts is awesome.
They can live simultaneously
Yeah.
at the same time. They are two parallel things.
Yeah.
110%. Yeah. They're two sides of the same coin. You know,
Yeah.
I love to receive. But even more than I love to receive, I love to gift. Yesterday at First Fridays, I went across the street from Mildred's to buy dog food before everything kicked off. And I walked out, and some ladies were standing out there, and they were doing interviews for Hellsberg Diamonds.
Oh my.
I know. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll do an interview. Sure. You know, I don't own anything diamonds. Let's go. No, but I did a short little interview about moms, and they gave me like a $500 necklace for
What?
moms. Yes.
Wow.
For free. Yes. I was like, what? Like, I guess just right place, right time.
Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
You what?
Have you seen Inglourious
I don't
Bastards?
think so.
No? Oh my God. It's a
don't know.
Quentin Tarantino movie. Brad Pitt is in it. It's just phenomenal.
Oh, wait. Is it newer?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it then Brad Pitt has like a Hawaiian shirt on?
No,
in
I
the
think that's
thing?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes,
This is
okay.
they kill Nazis.
Okay. I've heard of this.
Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
he is like got his Arkansas. Mm-hmm. It totally doesn't fit like 1940s. This rogue underground across the ocean. But anyway, at one point he sits sitting at a table, and he says, "When something seems like too good to be true, it's 'cause it ain't," or something like that.
Oh my God.
But that's it. So immediately I'm like,
What?
What's going on?
No, literally, I was like, "What?" And it's a beautiful charm necklace. It comes with like a little box that has all of like spots for the charm. She gave me a bag and a card,
Cute.
and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to give this to my mother-in-law." You know, so like, and I love my mom, but this necklace had all of these little things that were just so
Her.
my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And I like, as soon as we saw it, we were like, oh, you know, so like as cool as it was to get a free necklace, like it's going to be even better to be like, hey,
Right.
here's something really nice for you.
And it cost you.
And it cost me nothing.
Don't tell.
Don't tell her, but also take the price tag off. Like, that's the thing. Like, how do we be like, hey, we got that for free, but it's a $500 necklace. You know? We
right.
can't do
Yeah,
that, but
no.
it's still really cool. But it's always, when I was in second grade, they did, virtue awards. And every month they would pick one virtue, and 5 kids out of the class would win that virtue award for displaying that virtue naturally, and I won generous like 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
that's just I'm also a Libra, so I just
Oh boy.
split it in half and give it to you. I love it. I would so much rather like give an individual the bigger half.
Oh
than,
yeah.
like nothing at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
That's great.
it feels good. It feels good to share. Makes your heart big.
So I meant like, that whoever crafted the verbiage for the definition of Art Garden KC on the website, artgardenkc.org, kudos to them.
Kudos, Bethany.
Bethany, okay. Handmade goods, artisanal foods, creative works, and a vibrant atmosphere and community.
Yeah.
It's like first glance, at some point, when I started this, it's like friends and family and all the people I know from the restaurant industry. And then it's like, those are all the people. And it's spilled into like bands and musicians and venue owners. And at some point, like, the algorithm was just feeding me
people
that, if they've got an instrument in front of them or they lean in the arts or whatever, like I'm messaging you, and so I think when I first saw Art Garden KC, I was like, well, I'll talk to somebody about some flowers and plants and shit.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
so much more.
So much more.
So much more. There are people out there with flowers and plants, don't get me wrong. But
absolutely.
That's just an offering. One of many.
So this thing's been around for like 5 years. You've been there for more than half of it. And the connection was made because you were a vendor. You're an artist.
Yeah, the connection was made because I was a vendor. And then the connection deepened because I did murals at Worlds of Fun.
Okay.
So that's a whole separate thing that I was working on outside of this. But I did 3 murals at Worlds of Fun.
Cool.
And presented the idea to Worlds of Fun of a scavenger hunt of sorts where we got the murals out into historic locations around Kansas City.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then there's like a QR code that they scan, and then they could win a free VIP package to Halloween Haunt. So it was interactive with the city. It got people interacting with art, and then it also advertised Halloween Haunt.
Okay.
So it was kind of all in one, and they were totally gung ho for it. So we did that. And my first initial response was to message Art Garden, message Bethany, and be like, hey, can you assist me in getting these murals into historic locations? And then Bethany and I...
That sounds insanely gigantic to take on.
It was a lot.
Okay.
It was a lot, but we did it. I did it. I don't want to toot my own horn.
Sometimes you got to toot it, you know what I'm
but
saying?
I did that by myself, y'all. I did that by myself. Nobody helped me. Don't get me wrong. Our garden, Bethany, she got me the proper contacts.
Half the thing right there,
for
right?
For sure. Absolutely. She got me the proper contacts, but getting responses from important people is not easy.
Getting responses from people.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. There's a very, very healthy percentage of folks that I reach out to.
Yeah.
That just know. And I get it. It's not for everybody.
No,
but I'm not going to not.
Well, things get buried. I understand.
Yeah. Yes.
But I put my big girl panties on and I showed up to these locations.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, can we talk about this? After 15 emails, after 5 missed phone calls. And then these people were like, oh my God, I'm so happy you did this. I've just been so swamped. I haven't been able to even, call you back, locate these things, blah, 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 blah. We're dealing with Union Station. We're dealing with City Market. We're dealing with, Berkeley Riverfront. We're dealing with people that deal with city problems on a regular basis. They see Worlds of Fun mural and they're like, spam mail? You know what I mean? So... it is a lot about, if you want something, when they say chase it down, it is absolutely, literally, tie your laces and chase it down. Don't just, I sent a few emails. TikTok?
Yeah.
TikTok, what are you doing? Get down there,
This is a trip to me because I'm a 74 baby, so I turned 50 last year. And so in the early 80s, I hate to say World's Fun's heyday, but that's that time. That park is wired into my brain with that time.
They're 53 this year.
Okay. But in addition to the insane coolness of a fun park, the artwork and the fact that everything was like a different part of the world.
Yeah.
The Finnish fling and the Zimbabwe, just it's like how you get a young person to be interested in learning and art is lock it with something cool.
Yeah.
And I still to this I don't go to World's Fun very often now.
You're gonna. You're gonna.
But I
I get
still
like 20 free tickets a year. You're gonna go. You're gonna go.
I still think that shit is so cool.
It's fantastic.
That thinking went into the, and so
Yeah.
it's still alive, I guess, in
Yeah,
some
we're
sense.
last year Worlds of Fun launched Casey Nights.
Okay.
A celebration of Kansas City. They got out of contract with, or they stopped doing, oh my goodness, Carnival. And so they had to pick up a different type of event, celebration. The pass holders want new. They don't just want to come to Worlds of Fun and it be the same old Worlds of Fun every time. There needs to be something going on here.
Right.
So Colin Prouse, which is my boss at Worlds of Fun, planned Casey Nights. And he is the lead of creative services. So he planned Casey Nights. And, I was bartending at Worlds of Fun when I met Colin.
Okay.
Bartending sober, I will say. Big feat. Bartending sober. But I was bartending sober when I met Colin, and I thought that he was just like somebody walking around in Worlds of Fun. And he was asking me my opinion on the decor, the theme that or the bar that I was working at. And I gave him my feedback, and then that kind of snowballed into me showing him my art. And he was like, "Oh, I would totally hire you." And I was like, "Well, hire me for what?" Because I didn't know who he was. And he was like, "Oh, well, I'm, lead service or creative director, for Worlds of Fun." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not going to let you forget that you just said that to me. And I'm not going to let you forget who I am. And I'm certainly not going to be a bartender in 3 months."
Did you really have that timepiece locked in your...
I wouldn't say timepiece, but every time I walked in that door, I was like, I want to talk to that man. Where is he at?
Nice.
110%. If I saw him, I'd be like, "You and me, buddy. Let's talk," And World's Fun's a big place. Colin's a busy man, so it wasn't easy. But I went from last year. I went from bartending. I bartended for the first 2 or 3 months of the season. Maybe even 2, not 3. And got on with Colin. And then, it all just kind of happened. Did the murals, got the murals out there. Bethany and I clicked. I messaged Bethany about the murals, and she was like, "Hey, just call me. This is big. This is crazy. I want to hear more about it." Turned into a 3-hour phone conversation of us just insane parallels. We are the same individual. We have the same childhood trauma, to the same, breakdown mentally whenever we're doing, the way we work. Our work ethic is the same. We're just kindred spirits.
Cool.
And instantly within that conversation, the very first time that we had a one-on-one talk, we were like, "Oh, we're friends, I guess, because this is great," And then she invited me to go to Moulin Rouge with all the girls of Art Garden, and that was really fun. So we built this really good back and forth. And she saw kind of my tenacity and what I like to do, and that I people have called me workhorse, and it's true. I really I take a lot of pride in my work, and I put a lot of time into it, and I think she noticed that. And this year, she presented me with the opportunity of becoming assistant executive and kind of learning the ropes, and then eventually one day taking her place. So that way...
So that she could go where?
So that, Bethany would, we would love to bring Art Garden to other states, or possibly just give Bethany the time to travel or take a vacation or be, kind of one of those owners that can
manage
more
things
so
from a
hover,
distance,
and not be so directly involved in the way that she is right now.
My folks next door own a design and build.
Very cool.
And she's very much
with the bounce houses.
Yeah.
Really.
She's very much like decor and plan and he's got all of the
carpentry.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. My fiance is the same way.
Nice. So they, took it on ground up, and they're but she would love to get to a spot where she can find her,
Yeah.
and say like, you now do what I've been doing, and I'm gonna do something else.
Yes.
Whether it's related to that or just live
That's what
a nicer
Bethany
life
wants.
or whatever,
Yeah, she wants to. Yeah, her. She wants to find someone who is equivalent to herself.
Yes.
And although I did just join, and I will say right now that I am nothing compared to Bethany at this point in time. I just it's been maybe 2 months. Coming on and being somewhere 2 months will never equivalent to 5 years of a business that you've grown from the ground up.
Sure. However,
I have major passion.
Good.
And I love it.
That's true. But at the same time, somebody has to invest that time to then be able to distill it down to the, here's what the thing is and how it needs to live and operate. And like,
For sure.
You can't just, hardwire like Matrix style.
Right. Yeah.
Now I can fly a helicopter. You gotta. So anyway.
Right. No. But I want to be.
Yeah.
People say that you're like your own worst critic is yourself, and I think that's a strength. Like I refuse to see that as a bad thing. I always want to be better and do better and impress more and like push expectations, limitations. And maybe that comes from not doing good in school.
Okay. I like that you said that you view it as a strength, though. That's super cool.
I just don't think that you can ever get better unless you see how you're lacking. Yeah. And even if that lack isn't like compared to like where you started. Like if I compare me to right now to where I started, substantial. But if I compare me right now to where I want to be, like I still have a lot to do.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think keeping your critiques and your goals aligned with where you are in tandem is very important for
very
sure.
Smart.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as you reach one goal, like it's not done.
No.
You don't get to celebrate.
Right. Well,
what are we doing next? Like my celebratory is like, I really don't even know anymore. I don't really.
It feels good.
It just feels good. It just feels good.
Hey, I'm not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Or a smaller.
Or I'm doing something. Yeah. I'm giving back. And I, lately, in my own personal life, I've had a considerable amount of like family issues.
Okay.
So lately, it has been when I succeed, I can't even like muster the like excitement because I'm so down about the hindrance of my family. And so like it's also a driving force.
Yeah.
It's also a driving force.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, how do I smash that out? How do I do even better to where like it feels really, really good? When you start succeeding, when you start doing good, that's the drug. That's the high.
Yeah.
When you start creating something and it's so good and you're so excited to put it out there and you're like, oh my God, people are going to love this. That's the high. There's no more alcohol. There's no more, oh, it's fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
I like the occasional, I guess maybe in stand-up comedies where I've seen this.
I love stand-up.
Where people, or even podcasters, like just talking about like the grade of human that lives in the comment section or that wants to like their high is to
keyboard warriors.
Yeah. They want to like trash you or whatever.
They want to make someone mad. Yeah.
And I love when folks say, "You think the words that you use towards me are gonna hurt you? You have no idea what I say about myself.
None.
You can't even touch."
The first time I got like a critical comment, I was like, yes, I'm doing it. Yeah, I've made it. I got haters. I've made it. People don't like what I'm doing. That's amazing.
That's hilarious.
Because like because In today's day and age, you have to realize if someone is going to go out of their way to do that, it is projection. They are jealous. They don't know what they're doing. They could never imagine doing the things that you're doing. And so they have to find something to say about it. And like, yeah, I was excited. The first time I got some type of comment that was like, this isn't even good. And there are grammar errors. I was like, grammar errors? Where? Like, I literally sat there for a minute and was like, there are no grammar errors. He's insane. And I'm not even going to say anything. Because you're helping me.
Yeah.
You're going out of your way, commenting, bumping my things, helping me. Great. Yeah. Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't think anybody should be worried about it.
Let me have your address so I can send you a World's Fun Pass.
Yeah, thanks. You're helping my career.
So, are you born and raised in the area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was born at St. Luke's on Berry.
Okay.
I grew up around there. I went to Park Hill High School,
Okay.
Park Hill South. I lived in Topeka for my senior year.
Oh wow.
So I've
You were a Northlander forever, and then you moved your senior year?
Yes.
Fuck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not good. But you know, everything happens for a reason.
To Topeka of all places.
To Topeka. Yeah, no, it was not good. Yeah, Topeka is a hellhole.
I know.
The worst. The best individual that I met in Topeka was Brad Leduc, and he was my art teacher.
Okay.
Incredible individual.
Boom. Made it worthwhile.
Made it worthwhile. Yep, incredible
Shouts
individual.
out to Brad.
Shout out to Brad. He was like, look, I know you're troubled. You're not doing the work that you should be doing, but you're working hard in that sketchbook, so that's enough for me. And I don't know, Brad saw me. Brad saw that I had potential, but I was just not in my moment, I think. And a lot of my favorite teachers saw that. They saw that I was, and a lot of, like, 3 teachers that said, you know, you're too smart for school.
Oh my.
This is not why you're here. You're not here to pass and go on and, you know.
Is that grown up? Be a grown up?
Be grown up. Yeah, be grown up. There's higher purpose here, I think. Brad did that for me, and Troy Snelling from Park Hill really, really made an indention on who I am today for sure. But yeah, no, had a lot of really good teachers.
Cool.
Growing up.
That's great.
They made a huge difference in my life. Kate Padberg, Troy Snelling, Brad Leduc, history teacher, and 2 art teachers really did good things for my heart. I wanted to be a teacher for a long time because of it. But I think that the core of that was just like wanting to help people and help kids because I knew how much they helped me. And now that's just translated into helping in any way that I can. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, Northlander, I grew up here. Even when I was living in Topeka, I'd come down to Kansas City every weekend. So I was active in Kansas City. And I was involved in First Fridays when I was in high school.
Dang.
So, you know.
Wow. Siblings?
None.
Okay.
Nope.
Any idea how mom and dad met?
Yeah.
Everybody gets these.
Yeah.
If
No,
there's
it's
anything
okay.
you want to gloss over, it's
No, that's
not.
fine. No, it's just really funny.
Okay.
My mom was cleaning her car.
Okay.
And my dad drove by and was like, "Hey," and that's how they met.
I love it. I'm telling you what. So you do enough of these, and it's inevitable you're going to repeat some shit over.
Yeah.
But so I've said this a few times. But the range
Of
on
how?
this is like one was my dad pulled up next to my mom at a stoplight and asked if she wanted to pull over and talk, and she said yes. And I was like, what? I mean, obviously
That's crazy.
It's not.
Yeah, no, my mom, they went to high school together.
Okay.
But my dad was football quarterback, drove a Porsche, rich kid.
Porsche.
Gross. Ugh. My mom, love her. My mom was like grungy girl who sold all the weed to people.
Nice. Nice.
And so she was like not under my dad's radar in high
Right.
school, and then they graduated, and as do all men, he came back to the women that he did not pay attention to.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna
You know what
say
I mean?
came back to the high school. I was like, please.
No. No. I think enough of the emo girls know what I mean when we say you get bullied, and then later those bullies reap what they sow. Yeah, hardcore. And it was kind of that situation.
Did they? Were they both raising you together under the same roof?
No.
Okay.
No. My dad went to prison.
Okay.
For 14 years of my life.
Dang.
Yes.
That is not a teeny sentence.
No. I was my own father for a considered my mom and me.
Okay.
It was really it. I had one major stepdad figure.
Okay.
I actually want to give you his name because you would love to interview him. He's great.
Please.
He's the lead guitarist for a band called Malachi.
Okay.
Incredible guitar player. Really interesting individual. Really gave me an example of like perseverance in your craft and like what that looks like. And then another individual that I want to give you the name of as well is the guy that my dad...
Look at you giving me presents.
Is the guy that my mom dated after him. His name's Phil Craven, and he was the lead singer / mandolin player for a local band called Whiskey for the Lady.
Whiskey for the Lady?
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
And so my whole life... those 14 years really 15 years of my adolescence, which was like pretty much all of it, was spent in a household with like an insane amount of musicians. Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. Yeah.
And please, anybody you want to send me.
I have like a list of 5.
That's 5 more than I had before you rang my doorbell. So thank you. So what are mom and stepdad figures into? What are they listening to? What's in their
my
collection?
God, when I was growing up, adolescent, oh my God, Ozzy Osbourne, any metal. It was all metal all the time. I mean, like, just off the top of my head, I'm, like, literally blanking. Because there's so much.
Metal is a pretty wide net.
Metal is such a pretty wide depth. We've got Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Motorhead, Ozzy Osbourne. I really stick on Ozzy Osbourne because when I was little, for some reason, like, the No More Tears video, it engraved into my brain. And in like the 3rd grade, we had a project where you had to like turn a famous person into a pig. I don't know. We were 3rd graders, but I did Ozzy Ozpig in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
So like I loved Ozzy growing up. God.
See,
any,
I bought that cassette.
Poison was my first concert. Sorry.
You're good. I bought that cassette and it was like, I was hard rock is the line for me.
Yeah.
Like I just not if I just even lean a little over into metal, I'm like, it's not for me. It's just
that's okay.
Just anyway.
I love all genres.
But I bought No More Tears on cassette and was like, this is weird. I'm buying an Ozzy Osbourne record. Now I had a 1 or 2 Black Sabbath cassettes. But I was like, this is from basically 2 tracks that got a shitload of radio play.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta have this.
I want this. Yeah. God, oh my gosh. Now it's flooding in.
So,
but,
now were the tastes shared relatively mutually between mom and
Oh yeah. And if my mom watches this, I don't want to offend her, so I'm just gonna say that beforehand. My mom was band girlfriend. My mom eats, sleep, breathe rock music. Total rocker girl. I was literally so tired of hearing the term MILF by the time I hit 17.
Are you serious?
I was literally like, no one is allowed to meet my mom. So she's, they were definitely shared tastes.
Okay.
We were a metal household for a long time until my mom left. That individual left Chris and then got with Phil. And my mom's a very sentimental individual.
Okay.
So like she kind of like left metal music behind for a
Interesting.
while after she left him.
Yeah.
And it went extra hippie. So it was like adolescence was
I got
heavy
that.
metal.
Okay.
And then young adult, like 18 to 22, was like hardcore hippie, very
You're gonna have to give me mom's number too.
you'd love her.
Now you're
You'd love
speaking
her.
my language.
You'd love her. You'd love her. She'd love this. But yeah, it was, music has been like an incredible part of my life for the entire time. My mom is music means the world to my mom. She loves music. Why she's always been attracted to musicians is because that is what moves her.
Yeah.
Is music.
Yeah.
Obviously she's a fan of art, but music is.
Cool. So I've likened this notion of the stuff that the folks that are raising us, the stuff that they're listening to, is kind of like furniture in the home, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're aware of it,
Yeah.
but you don't necessarily realize how unique it is to your home until you sort of take that first little step in carving out your own. Like, what am I into? What gets me going?
Right.
So I'm wondering, I appreciate you sharing your list with me.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
Yeah.
outside of the list, I'm wondering if there's an album that really
Says those like that.
tickled your fan, like got or started your collection, or it was the first one you bought with your own money or borrowed from a friend.
Oh, man.
Anything that stands out.
First one that I bought with my own money. Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
Hey,
no,
it's part of who
that's
you
so
are.
funny. No, I'm it's not embarrassing, as much as it is like I wish it was better. I think my first endeavor out of beside the music that like my parents listened to.
Yeah.
And I would be so shocked if you even knew who these people were. But Black Veil Brides, they're like an emo band. They're bad. But I was like heavy, or like Paramore, or things like that.
That's
And Orange Hair.
Seems a little familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just found all the kids that were like my age making metal music.
Okay.
My age, 5 years plus, making metal music. So I did like Pierce the Veil, Black Veil Bride, Sleeping with Sirens, blah, 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 blah. The list, Never Shout Never. The list goes on and on. But yeah, I think that's where that really started for me.
Okay.
Were those. But I loved my parents' music.
Sure.
I loved my parents' music. My parents listened to fucking cool music, okay? Like,
Dude, do you know what will turn my head like so fast that I'll like injure my neck?
What?
It's when I like meet somebody just out in the wild that's like, yeah, we don't really do music. And
I'm like, what?
are you?
Do you breathe?
Well, and I know that if you don't do music that you don't have to be this.
Right.
But what I want to ask initially is, are you like the second eyelids are open, the television is on and
Right.
loud?
Right.
Because that is so abrasive
crazy.
to me.
Or-
the news just fucking,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my God, I'm
But
trying to have some cereal.
Or worse than that, do they just live in silence?
That might be better than the TV nonstop.
Like, I could not. I would.
You ever been in those houses where the TV's just always on and nobody seems to be watching it?
Yeah, my grandma does that.
Okay.
I will say I do that at night. Okay, I do.
But that's
cuff me now.
but it's a specific time of the day.
It is,
and
and
it's a
I'm not
comfy,
watching.
comfy thing.
It is. It's a comfy thing.
Yeah.
I watch Ghost Adventures, and I need Zach Baggins to put me to bed. I'm like, please, Zach, tell me
that's
about the
hilarious.
things that we'll never understand.
Silence is. I don't know.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I wake up.
Sure.
My TV turns off. I wake up.
Yeah.
I might put it. I slap my fiance. Babe,
Make some
put
noise.
Ghost Adventures
Yeah.
back on.
So, Poison was your first
Poison
show.
was my first show.
What venue?
It was Sandstone.
Nice.
At the
It's always
always Sandstone.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did they have? Do you remember? Did they have an opener? Or?
time. They did Rat.
I was probably aware of that
Yeah, it
tour.
Yeah, it was Rat. It was
Cool.
Rat and Poison. Brett Michaels was filming Rock of Love at the time,
Okay.
and they asked my mom to be on Rock of Love.
Oh my God.
They got us backstage.
Oh shit.
So I met the guitarist from Poison. I think the drummer from Poison. And
What did she say?
oh, she was engaged. My mom was married. My mom said no.
No, about being on
Rock of Love?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said no.
Okay.
She was married. She was
Okay.
engaged. She left. There was no way. My mom's not like a limelight individual. She
Oh,
was like,
gotcha.
No.
Interesting.
And she you could not do that. My mom would tear other women apart. You could not do that to her. Rock of Love, dating shows, absolutely not.
That's funny. That's funny.
She'd be like, if I'm dating Bret Michaels, then I'm dating Bret Michaels.
Right.
I
right.
can see it now.
So I wrote this. Well, I wrote all of this before I met you, but so this is going to seem a little obvious, and it turns out my hunch was right. But it seems like you have a creative / artistic side to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Is that accurate?
Artist before executive.
And if so, what's the birthplace of that element of you, and how has it been fostered for growth and development? I know we've given shouts out to Art Garden KC and so forth, but like, what was the light bulb and how did it first get the little bit of water and sunshine?
I remember the very first thing I did that it was like God clicked in my brain and was like, you got to do this for the rest of your life. And I was, straight up.
There's a great scene from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that's become a meme where he's maybe Leonardo or I forget which one of them it is, but he's just like kicked back in the chair with a beer and a cigarette, and he sees a clip of something on TV and goes,
oh yes, exactly, yes, no, I know, yes, that's exactly.
That's God.
It was like that. It was
shoulder tapping you.
It was probably not only like the instance in my life where I knew, but it was probably like my first like clairvoyant, intuitive download from source energy moment. Like I was, I think like maybe 5.
Wow.
And my cat was laying on a pillow. And I was like, I'm going to draw my cat. And it was like, I remember it was the very first time I had ever done something and went, this is good.
I was just going to say, did you like how it turned out?
Yeah. I was like, holy shit, I can do it. Oh my God, give me all the things. You know what I mean? And then for the rest of my life, that was what I was good at. All through elementary school, the grading through elementary school was a little weird. Like you have E's for exceptional, and then like M for moderate, and then N for not meeting standards, and then like another one for failing. But I got M's through everything, but art was always E, exceeding standard. Going into high school, I was, way above like the average.
Do you want something else to drink?
Oh, I'm okay.
You're good?
I'll get it in a minute.
Okay. Right.
It's not a big deal. But yeah, no, it has quite literally always been my thing. Every birthday, every Christmas, everything, I was always given art supplies. That's what people knew to get me. It was
Some of that shit ain't cheap.
No.
Some good gifts in there, I bet.
Oh yeah. Do you know how many times I got a wrapped pack of 100 pieces of copy paper and was like, yeah, unlimited drawing. Like I was an easy kid to shop for. Crayola, I ran through those things like twice a week. Just keep getting her Crayolas. You know what I mean? Like easy.
Wow.
And anything that I could like get my hands on or like explore, be creative, that's what I wanted to do. It has always, always, always been like my forte. There's never been, it was my force. They knew.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so.
So 5 years old, drawing the cat. You like it. And you liking that and being aware of that moment, like that can be enough energy to get a thing off the ground, but oftentimes a little nudge needs to happen. Anything in that regard?
Oh yeah, I mean,
encouragement.
My parents have always encouraged. My parents may have not always been the most stable, And my childhood may have been pretty difficult, but if one thing my parents always did, both of them, they always watered that plant.
Cool.
They always fed that. I'd never once heard out of my mom or dad's mouth that like I won't get anywhere being an artist.
Hey,
Art
man,
will not take you anywhere.
that's
Art will
awesome.
not do this. It's a little, it's a little different when you know that when, my dad knew back then she's going to inherit you know what I mean?
Okay.
He knows that I'm taken care of. So it's one of those things where like maybe knowing my dad, it may be a little different if I wasn't going to like inherit the way that I'm going to retire, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but it's just not my avenue. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think about it all the time.
Well, you can relate to this, I assume, as a parent, and it's documented in movies and whatever. But,
Right.
Just beyond keeping your kid alive
Right.
and happy and healthy, leaving them with the means for a better life than what we had.
It's huge.
It's everything.
It's huge.
It's fucking so huge.
For sure.
So your dad could have leaned a lot of different directions, knowing what he knew about your reality and your personality.
Right.
And it feels like that was a solid move of his to encourage.
Yeah, he, oh God, I'm not going to tell him to watch this. Don't give him that much mental credit.
Fair.
Again, gone from my life for 14 years. He really didn't have a choice other than to be like, hey, that's great. He has 30 minutes on the phone with me, every 2 days.
He could have spent that 30 being like, you better not.
No, he wouldn't have, because he knows me and I wouldn't have answered. Like, that's, like I'm not, I'm very much my mother and I have like those strong boundaries. I think I went like 2 years without talking to him at all whenever he first went back. Like he's gone twice.
Okay.
I just kind of clump it together. But the second time he went, I, at 14 years old, told him that he did not prioritize me at all. If he was selling drugs, he's not prioritizing his child. And I called him an asshole and hung up on him. I didn't talk to him for 2 years. At like 14.
And that first piece of communication after those 2 years was instigated by...
It was instigated by me.
Okay.
Because I was young and confused and didn't understand, also like starting to use drugs and didn't understand like why everything happened. There's so many questions.
Yeah.
When you have a parent that like actively chooses drugs over you or is like absent, the sea of whys and wonders and what ifs and oh my God.
Enormous.
It is. You will drown.
Yeah.
You will drown if you do not.
So you reached out knowing how things ended the previous time. I imagine he hadn't forgotten either.
Oh, of course not.
And how did that go?
He was in prison. He just wanted contact. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that went fine then. The relationship's a little different now.
Sure.
And I'm a bit more honest with myself. You know what I mean? I think for a long time I like romanticized him in order to not make him a villain. That's normal.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
For women, if you lose your father or your father makes choices that are disappointing, that's normal. I deal with disappointment from him on a regular basis till this day. You know what I mean? People think it's hard to harbor like disappointing your parents. I beg to differ. It is a lot harder when your parents are actively disappointing you on a regular basis. So when you're just like literally, why can't you get your shit together? I've been doing it for 5 years. You've been doing it for 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it is what it is, and I think that it plays a key role in who I am, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Right.
I really wouldn't.
It's weird for me, just churning along in this, fuck, jeez, it's not, and then one day you're like, oh, well, I kind of
Yeah.
do like who I am.
I like this.
And I had to go down that.
I needed
to
it.
get
Yeah. And knowing now who my dad is, because he got out of prison when I was 22. So for the last like 4 or 5 years, I have really gotten to know who he truly is. There's a huge difference between knowing someone on a 30-minute basis over the phone and having a relationship.
For sure.
And unfortunately, I don't like who my dad is. And unfortunately, I'm very happy that he wasn't there for the hardest points in my life, because they would have been harder.
Much energy, how long did you put into
The relationship?
No. The upset of, all those years of, fuck, like, get it to,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, it turns out to be a good.
Yeah.
Or for the
Are you kidding? Yeah. No. It caused a lot of pain for me. It was like 4 or 5 years of self-harm, and I went through actually hardcore self-harm. My legs are tore the fuck up. I can't wear a cute skirt and look all cute because people are literally
tabletop
like,
up, baby.
tabletop up, yo. Because it's literally, and I don't care about it now. It's cool,
Right.
but like, one of the first things he said to me, and the women who watch this are going to be like, are you fucking kidding me? One of the first things he said to me when he got out and he saw me in shorts was like, I really wish you would have never done that. So why the fuck do you care? You're my dad and they're my legs. Get the fuck over it. You know what I mean? But I had no control. And so that made me like develop those issues. And I had an eating disorder for a long time.
Oh, shit.
Because again, food was the only thing I could control. And I'm a control freak, and I know that now. I'm not mad about it.
Good.
Is what it is.
If you, when you said that, it felt genuine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's power in that. Like,
Yeah.
In terms of not like over a person or a thing, but
Right.
to push the vessel that is you
For
along,
sure.
right?
Well, again, to like kind of bring it full circle to what I said with alcoholism, that was a choice. Every day I woke up and I chose to do those things. And I made that choice in the hopes to conjure love and care. And I know that now. And I think that it was very crucial for me, because now I can identify a lot of unhealthy red flags in other people and aid them and be like, hey, let's not do that. let's not harm ourselves. Let's not deplete our body of so much iron that we have to go to the hospital and have a transfusion, or let's not, you know what I mean?
Fuck.
Like, yeah, dude, it got bad. But again, like, it allows you to see those things and help and give advice. And like, even like some of my childhood friends now, after having babies, are for the first time in their life having these like unhealthy relationships with food, and are, having these, oh my God, I actually understand what Morgan was going through when we were 14. This is hard. I don't know how to like look in the mirror every day and be okay. And I can be like, hey, let's talk. I'm here for you. I know how to get through this. Baby steps,
Wow.
So I think that it was crucial to my development so I could help others in the end. And like now, again, like we were talking about before, no one can say anything to me. There's no way that you're going to say something worse to me now than 14-year-old Morgan said to herself. So metaphorical muscles.
There you go.
Metaphorical muscles were built with that one.
I like that.
For sure.
Well, thank you very much again for being here and for sharing your list with me. I just usually roll through those in release order, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So we'll start in a year that was a real fun one for me, 1995, with Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
Oh, so good.
This is 3 of 10 for her. 13 tracks, 57 minutes. If memory serves, one lone appearance all the way back to episode number 51 with my ex-sister-in-law.
Heard. Okay.
Yeah.
Ex-wife, sister.
Yes.
Got it.
And she picked, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but dual citizenship for this singer, songwriter, actress, who's put out a couple of records in the last 5 years and has definitely toured recently.
Yeah.
And so what is your introduction to this record's story?
Oh, man. I think for me, this record was all about like owning my pain from adolescence and like kind of allowing that to be like this driven anger of you ought to know really sums that up of like there's just like this rawness with Alanis that I really, really like connect with, especially back then. When I first connected with this album, I was living in Topeka my senior year.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And it was like constant, boring Kansas back roads, smoking weed, screaming these songs.
Nice. At least you had that.
Oh my God, this was like the best. Are you kidding me? My escape. I would do that right now if I could.
Right.
But yeah, this album means a lot to me just because of.
So are you? Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
It just encompassed a lot. It encompassed the wholeness of what I was feeling in that moment of like releasing the pain, but like still being slightly angry.
Sure.
And then also, I was like 18. This was like cusp of freedom.
So you're it comes out and you're aware of it then, like you're consuming it as new.
This album?
Yes.
No. This album came out before I was born.
Okay.
I was born 2 years after this album came out. I was born 97.
Okay.
Yes.
My mistake.
Yes, but
I think that I took that Worlds of Fun knowledge about how, and was like, all right, we're kind of close to the same age. We are not.
27. No, but when I really started listening to this, I was 18.
Okay.
In high school. I didn't, when there were a few songs, like certain songs, you grow up in I never, Alanis Morissette was not like a name in my household.
Okay.
My mom loved her, don't get me wrong,
Sure.
but like it wasn't like genuinely played at all. So like, getting into her music, was like my own endeavor, obviously. And yeah, it just encompassed a lot. Encompassed a lot of like the wholeness of what I was feeling in that moment.
How did it find you? How did you find it?
God, man. I couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
I would probably say Pandora.
Okay.
I'd probably say Pandora. I'd probably say I probably had a lot of different radio stations, probably listening to Fiona Apple Radio.
Cool.
That showed up and you can only hear so many songs on the same album before you're like, just give me the whole fucking thing, man.
Gotta
I want
have
the whole
it.
thing.
Yeah.
I want the whole thing.
Have you seen Dogma?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Where she's God.
I love Dogma. I love that movie. So I haven't seen that movie in probably 13 years.
Same.
Didn't know that. Did not know that. You're talking about the one with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not know. I saw it when I was like 13, 14.
Okay.
Probably watched it like 5 times in a row for one run because I probably got my cable taken away and had to do DVDs or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's this? Put it in. And that was like it. So I haven't seen it in so long. Didn't even know she was in that movie. That's really awesome.
Well, it's
just
yeah. But cool. I can't
Still
not.
Cool.
I hear her name, and immediately I picture her opening the church
that's
doors.
cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Great record.
Incredible. Yeah.
Have you poked around at any of her other stuff, or have you seen her?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Live.
I haven't seen her live.
Okay.
Really want to see the Jagged Little Pill musical.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I would love to see that. I'm not sure how likely that is. But yeah, I love her. I love Is it the Thank You album with the hand?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I love all of her stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I've never gone to check out anything beyond this one, but
right. This is iconic though.
Yeah,
This
of
is
course.
the one that harbors all of the good ones.
So a 10-year leap to 2005, Demon Days, Gorillaz.
Yes.
Second of 8, 15 tracks, 50 minutes, described as a British virtual band with 4 fictional members. 2D, Murdoch, Murdoch Nichols, Noodle, and Russell Hobbs. And their universe is presented in videos, interviews, comic strips, and short cartoons. I became aware of them around the time their self-titled came out in 2001. And I know tunes like Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood, and a couple of others, but I've never like sat down and listened to an album of theirs or like learned anything about them prior to this.
Right.
So this was a lot of fun.
Cool.
How did they wind up in your lap, and why is this one special for you?
Okay, so man, again, I feel like this is the product of just a teenager who's exploring music.
Cool.
Everybody, not everybody, but at least for me, I feel like the tunes that get you into Gorillaz are Feel Good Inc., Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, stuff like that. When my mom was dating Phil, the mandolin player, Phil was very much like, these musicians curate this album start to finish because the songs flow, and that's how you should absolutely listen to it. And so I was driving a PT Cruiser at the time.
Really?
Yes, still had the CD thing, so he made me CDs.
He's a nice guy.
Oh, he was great.
Cool.
Phil's great. We don't talk now. Phil's great though.
Cool.
But he burnt me some CDs.
Cool.
And this was one of them, and then there's another one.
Yeah.
But him burning me these CDs and me not having the ability to just like listen to whatever song I wanted from a phone, really implemented the appreciation for the start to finish album. And
one of the reasons I do this.
It's incredible. It is.
People, historically speaking, and I know it looks different today, and that's fine. But somebody discovers an artist or a group of a band, and gets a green light to pony up some money on them to go into a studio and an expensive studio and record a record, and all of the things. The track sequence, how long they are, what tracks make the album, the artwork, the fights that they had while making it, and at the end of the day,
here you go,
the world.
This is
what I made for you.
And half of the world's like skip. Track 5K, happy. Like whoa.
Louis C.K. has a good little line about what an asshole he feels like when he hits skip on a YouTube video. He's like, someone's daughter made that ad, and you're just like, fuck you.
Oh, you stop. No, it does. It did give me the realization that like doing that, like Feel Good Inc. is track 6. Picking this album up and going straight to Feel Good Inc. is just like picking up a book and opening the middle, reading the page, and going, okay, that was all right.
Yeah.
Like, you may have...
I don't really like Gorillaz.
Yeah.
after one song.
Did you know that More Than Two Gorillas is called a band? And that's why they named their band Gorillaz.
Did you make that up?
No, I didn't make it up. Look it up right now.
Wow.
Alexa. No, but yeah, it's a pun. Scientifically, a group of gorillas is called a band, and so band gorillas.
The gentleman on the wall there is his celebration of life was just 2 weeks ago today, or maybe 3. Played hockey with him for many years. Awesome. Andy Crow, shouts out, rest in peace to Andy Crow, loved more than anything to refer to his family as the whole murder because multiple crows is called a murder.
I love it. That's so cool. Yeah. That's great.
That's great that they did that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fantastic album for me. I think it really encompasses the feeling of being so far away from home. I know that might sound strange. If you listen to this album, there's a lot of like almost there's these noises where it sounds like he's far away from the microphone. He's like, "Hello, is anybody there?" And it really encompasses, yeah, like just being away from home, and but like still, I don't know, there's like something so creative about this band and the way that they express, and their sounds of like sweet melancholy, if you will. Like it's like feeding you sadness on a silver spoon.
Have you seen the recent melancholy meme? It's like I remember the first time coming across that word and learning what it means, and then having the immediate thought, oh, this word's going to be huge for me.
Oh, this is great. That's how I felt about resplendent, which means beautiful, and despondent, which is like depressed. As soon as I found out about, or peripetia. Peripetia, I have it written here. I tattooed it on myself. Peripetia is the sudden reversal of circumstance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my tattoo says, accept peripetia. It's silly. It's cliche. I think I was like 19. It was New Year's. This guy I knew had a tattoo gun. I was like, okay. But peripetia encompasses the feeling of my life where things just change suddenly and you're like forced to go with it, or you sink or swim.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Back out in that sea.
Yeah, back out in that sea or you're going to drown. Yep, you better find a lifeboat.
This idea, this is home number 24 for me, which I forever thought that I was near but I've met some folks where they're like, oh, I'm 50s and 60s. Like,
you think it's high. Yeah, I know.
But
I'm like, I think maybe I'm at like 7 or 8.
Okay.
So it's not that crazy.
It's longer. I've been here longer than any other home. It's really weird. And there was a lot of moving around, and finally, like 6th grade-ish, 12, somewhere around there, my mom bought a house, and it was it was the one constant home-wise.
For a while, yeah.
And it took a while, because we were always breaking in a new place, and now, and then by the time I'm like super comfy there, I'm done with high school, and I wound up pretty far away from home, and wound up being pretty far away from home for a good while, and had that experience again where it's like, this feels like home, but
that still feels like home.
And then I would come visit and like sleep in my old bed and
be like weird.
Oh, this is the actual home.
This is the actual home.
And then I get back, and it's like, oh, it's good to be home. It's like, I don't know.
No, you have to let go.
Which one?
I've realized that. I've hardcore realized that. For a while, I thought like my grandma's home was like my real home, and it's only because that was the only like stable home within my family where nobody moved from it the entire time. Wasn't that I was there a lot, and then the home that I'm in now is provided for me by my dad, but is often used as like a tool of manipulation. So I'm it's messy, it's ugly, it's gross, but I'm actively working to get out of there and buy my own house and things of that nature. But I've realized that like you can't take it when you leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can fall in love with a place, multiple places over and over and over again, but if you're there alone, it doesn't matter. So like, who gives a fuck about a house? Who gives a flat fuck about a house?
Right.
Where's your family? Where's your kids? Where's your, where are your friends? If your friends aren't close,
Yeah.
We have my fiancé and I have whole rooms in our house dedicated to literally just hanging out with each other, and it's not our bedroom. You know what I mean? So like, you could put me in my house right now, but if my fiancé wasn't there, my daughter wasn't there, like it absolutely would not matter. You know what I mean?
I do. There are numerous transitions for my kids across the week.
Yeah.
And their mom is at the end of the block.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's super handy. It's almost annoyingly convenient at times.
Right, because you're like, it's because they're like, it's just down the block,
Yeah,
Dad.
it's like, I know, but I wish the things were here that we need to go.
I don't want you to have to walk all the way down there.
So there are 3 nights where they don't sleep here.
Right.
And it's like the absolute worst.
Yeah.
It's why I offer Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I play hockey on Wednesdays, and then I offer Saturdays, and it's just even. Of course, the awake moments are amazing.
Yeah.
But having them sleep in their beds in their room is like
it's different.
Fucking.
It's a different level of security. It's
just
different.
Like I'm in warm honey.
Yes.
Like,
oh my God. No, literally. Yeah. There's a reason my daughter's 4 and she still sleeps in my bed.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
I, as a child, felt like I didn't get hugged enough. And so now, and that's not meant to be sad, it's just a fact. And so now, I physically, I'm always like, I love you, let's cuddle, hugs, forehead kisses, as physical as I can validate her. I want her to know that I'm always here for her, and I want her to be comfortable, and I want her to feel loved beyond just hearing that she is loved and I am proud of her and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, when your kids are asleep in your house, there is literally nothing better. Do
you know who Mel Robbins is?
I don't think so.
I think that's her name. She's a gal. She's got shoulder length blonde hair and kind of thick framed glasses. And she, in another lifetime, opened a restaurant with her husband, and it was really successful. And so they opened 2 and 3, which were not, and totally tanked 1. And the whole thing ended up just imploding, and they had to climb out of financial whatever. No. But now she's, I don't know what she does, but she's everywhere. She's a podcast guest. I don't know if she has, and she's just got, I know she's not for everybody, which is fine.
Right.
But every time I come across her, there's just some sage wisdom coming out of her mouth.
I love that.
And one of the first times that I really stopped and
watched
was she's talking to this person who was having these constant things about her relationship with her mom.
Right.
And it's just it's just unsettled. And finally, she goes, the thing is that it's up to you to let that be, let it be, and however you land, you got to keep in mind that when she was raising you, she didn't have any idea what the fuck she was doing, because nobody does.
Right.
Really, so lots of, so whatever, when I've come across her, it seems like she's speaking good stuff.
Yeah.
And so lots of alcoholism on my dad's side. My dad's been dead for 23 years. I never met his younger brother. His mom was an alcoholic. His dad was a fighter pilot in World War II, came back from the war, and she eloped as a 15-year-old with him, and was famous for saying things like, children are meant to be seen, not heard. When I was born, they knocked on my parents' door, and my mom answered, and she said, "We're not here to help. We're here to see the baby." So my dad,
annoying.
Yeah, my dad, very late in life, many attempts to sort of get reins on the thing.
Right.
And he would have very long periods of being clean, and then he would binge. Mm-hmm. And then whatever the switch is to turn it off, his body would freak out, and he would have seizures and go to the hospital. Yeah. And eventually, that's what killed him.
Yeah, that's my grandma.
In a moment of this he was on meds, he was going to AA, he was in therapy, and one of these, he shared with me in one of these sessions, he had this realization that the level of affection from his parents.
Mm-hmm.
They were subscribers to the Star and the Times, so you would get the morning and the evening paper back when Kansas City used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There was an evening, my grandfather's got his feet on the ottoman and he's reading the paper and he's, Dad, Dad, Dad. And he finally says, Dad, I love you. And like the corner of the newspaper came down and he just like looked at him and then it went back up. And he's walking down the driveway to leave for school in the morning and his dad comes out in his robe. He says, hey, hey, hey. You remember that talk we had last night? I like that. And then went back in the house. Like that was, and then that was a memory, right?
Wow.
So then, as he's trying to work through stuff in therapy, he realizes that he has no memories of being told "I love you" by his mom or being held by her.
That's wild.
And I'm like, well, no fucking that like.
And you're not a serial killer?
Congratulations.
Congratulations, babe.
You met a person that wanted to marry you and have your children?
Right.
Like, and you have a job and a home?
Wait, you yourself can be affectionate?
Crazy that, and he was like super affectionate.
Yeah.
Like, way more affectionate than my mom.
Than you'd think, yeah.
And not to say my mom wasn't.
Right.
But like, amazing that he had that in him to give, being given
Right.
virtually nothing.
Again, a choice. You can be shown and like literally dealt something or deal with something that, hurts and either decide I don't know how to deal with this and I'm just going to keep doing it to my children, or I am going to literally do the exact opposite because I know that's what I needed. You know what I mean? I was shown horrible examples of how to be a parent as a child, or just how to be a person.
Human. Yeah.
Let me just put that out there. How to be a person.
Yeah.
My growing up, I witnessed an incredible amount of drug abuse, domestic violence, theft. The list goes on and on. Deception, manipulation, gaslighting, all of it. And I just learned how to not be that way because I wasn't proud of the people that, I wasn't proud of the people that raised me, like, as individuals at times. I'm more proud of my mom for sure than my dad.
Sure.
But there were still times where I was like, hey, what the fuck? What? I need a parent right now and you're being a sibling. I need a parent right now and you're being a best friend. I need a parent right now and you are acting like my child.
And probably didn't have, like, the feeling was probably there, but I don't imagine you had the words necessarily to say that.
Well, I did, but how does your mother take that when you're 14 years old and you're telling her to get her shit together? You know what I mean? Like, probably not good.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, even though I attempted to communicate those things, as an adult, you always think the kids don't know what they're fucking talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I see it to this day,
Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do. Yeah. And oftentimes they really do because kids are like just right on the outside and they're usually the quiet observer.
Yeah.
And it usually takes them a lot to speak up. So yeah, I was never afraid to speak my mind or like tell her exactly how she was making me feel or tell my dad exactly how he was making me feel. Did it always end well? Did I always feel heard? No.
Right.
Could I turn around today and be like, I told you so? For sure. But am I going to do that? Who does that help? You know what I mean?
You for a half a second.
And not even, because then you feel like shit.
That's why it's not a full second.
Yeah, it's not even a full second. Oh. Like, I told you so's are like the only right that doesn't feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the only one where it's like, I was right and this sucks. Because again, like people, not just women, but people love to be right.
Yeah.
People love to be,
but mostly women.
Yeah, mostly, we all just want to connect about the fact that we're all, a little bit right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's, yeah, I think that affection matters.
For sure.
For sure.
Beyond Demon Days, are you well versed in the Gorillaz library?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this was a fun listen. I
it?
I
Good.
definitely know, like I said, parts of the first one, but I've
Yeah. I fucking love this album. I picked this one specifically because it was the one that I listened to start to finish
But
over and over and
Homeboy
over.
made a CD for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was available for me like that. And I was living in Topeka doing a lot of driving on highways at 17, 18, coming back and forth between Topeka and Kansas City. And even my friends who don't like listen to Gorillaz will hear like a random off song of this, or they'll have like, and it won't even be like one of the popular ones. They'll be like, oh, this song reminds me of you when I want to,
That's funny.
and yeah, I enjoy this album. They were, oh man, if I could like summon my look and personality into one album when I was 18, it would be this.
Wow.
Like I was very like, like the grunge, hippie kind of,
But there's
interesting,
also
creative.
yes,
Yeah, the
yes.
interesting, the creative, the mysterious. You never really know.
And funk
And funk.
and fun.
Oh, funk and fun. Yes.
A
Yes.
little bit of that, like
the spunk.
sleeking around.
Yes.
Just like
Exactly. Yes. Also,
I'm fucking oozing cool.
Yes, I was doing so many psychedelics at this time in my life that it makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, picking up.
Yes, do you hear this?
Yeah.
I can see it in the walls.
So we go from Canada to London and now to Cincinnati. No, do I have that right? Yes, Cincinnati, I think, with alopecia. Why's alopecia?
So did you listen to this one?
I did. This is, familiar, very, very familiar
Like
with
oddly?
with Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah.
Just a tiny little sprinkling of familiarity with
Yeah.
a track or two off this Gorillaz record.
Yeah.
To like, what?
To like what the fuck, right?
First of all, which is the artist name and which is the album name, and what alopecia is like a skin condition.
Disease. Why is the band?
Yes.
Yes.
So, what do we got here? 2008, 4th of 8 for them, 14 tracks, 44 minutes. Tell me about why alopecia earned a spot on your list.
This was another Gifted from Phil album.
Interesting.
I will say that right now. I heard him like one day listening to this album in his car when I was like, him and my mom were on a date or something. I was in the back seat and I was like, the fuck did that guy just say?
Right? Early. Like track 2.
Track 2.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
What's going on?
Yeah, what? Good Friday. Yeah. When you get past Good Friday is the one that I would feel like is the hit.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would consider that the hit off of this album for sure. But yeah, I was just like, I was also really into like for a while I was really into like the underground emo music scene.
Sure.
And the weirder the music that you listen to, like the cooler you are, right? And when I heard some of this, I was like, oh fuck, what's that? So he burned me the CD, and like at first I was like, I don't know. And then like the third listen in, you're like, oh shit, this is killer. He makes comparisons that you would never in a million years come up with on your own. The lead singer his name's Yanni Wolf. Fucking genius. The way that this is also tandem with Gorillaz, where the start to finish it all flows through.
Absolutely.
And that's how I would listen to this, was start to finish. And you would probably laugh your fucking ass off, but I can like reverse this entire album. I know it start to finish.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. When my fiance is around me and I'm listening to this music, he's like, "Who the fuck did I marry?
Yeah.
What's going on?"
There's this weird. Okay, so two things. When it's a complete unknown,
Yeah.
and you first hit play,
Yeah.
there's a part of you that like is gonna be like, you
Right.
know, this is
weird.
no, like this is probably not gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
This is probably, you know,
Yeah.
so you sort of have to chisel that away to get
To the gooey bits. in the
natural
center.
you, right?
Yeah.
And so it starts, and I was like, all right, yeah,
Okay.
it's not this, you know, but immediately I'm like, my radar is
It was like,
wiggling,
whoa.
and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna like tune out. I'm gonna see what's going on here. And
Right.
then it was like track 2, track 3, track 4, and it was like this weird, like he's almost like he's riffing.
It's like spoken word almost.
But like free association, like this weird marriage of I don't even know. It's like he's touching and he's scratching itches that
in my brain that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was very compelling.
Yeah.
And very likable.
Good. I'm glad you
Um,
liked it. Yeah.
I mean, I had said this a million times. One listen, you get nothing.
Right.
2 listens, you're entitled to an opinion.
Right.
Listen 3 entitles you to share that opinion.
Right.
Right. One
Right.
listen, you don't know shit.
No.
But and that's how I talk about all these records
Right.
that I'm hearing for the first time is
Yeah.
one listen. So there is that one listen to this album, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to get back in there, and you know,
Because it's
and
yeah.
feel my way around, and you know, because that's when like you get this weird pattern of, oh, I remember that from the first time, and also, how the fuck did I miss that the
Yes.
first time?
Yes.
And it all kind of starts
Yeah.
to weave together.
It goes for months. If you listen to this album on repeat, you will be like, "Oh my god, this is what he's talking about." Like, is it on here? Is it these ones? Oh, Mr. Fist, these few presidents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like, it took me a long time to realize that these few presidents frowning in my pocket were just a few dollars. It's just a few dollars. He's talking about a few dollars.
That's funny.
And I was like, and there's so much. He's fucking incredible. This album ignites my passion for writing, and good writing at that. Writing that like entices you to keep reading. Writing that entices you to keep listening over and over because you feel like you may have missed something.
They're definitely in all of that, whatever the shit that he's spitting is. It's definitely writer adjacent.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling somebody recently that I finished this gal's album, and she got hired to be a professor at UMKC when I was finishing there, and some of us grad students got to go to a couple of these interviews, which felt super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like official. It was like a
Right.
whatever. But I bought her book, and I loved it, and many years later finished reading it and reached out to her. She still teaches there, and was like,
cool.
do you want to come do one of these? And I didn't expect her to. It's
Right.
how it's the personality that she is. It would have
Right.
been wild if she had.
Right.
And I was so thankful that she didn't, because I didn't make any notes about
The book or
dozens and dozens of passages of good writing.
Yeah.
Where you're reading,
Oh shit.
that was good right there.
Yes.
Fuck, you nailed that. And I
Yes.
would have to, if she said, I have to reread it again and take notes so that I could refer to them
Yes.
and not sound like an idiot. But yes.
No, like I think this one, the palmistry one, like there's this line in that song that's like, oh my god, it's gonna kill me not to remember this.
That's really weird that I had a feeling. I just
Yeah.
had a feeling. I looked over when that one was playing, and I was like, this one is really grating on me more than others.
Yeah.
And the immediate thought was, wouldn't that be funny if that's
It is
one
fantastic. I feel like it mentions palmistry.
Yeah.
But in a way where it's like your palm is formed before you're born, in a sense of like your fate is pre-decided in a way, and your palm, your hands are crafted before you come out. I would have to remember the exact lyrics.
Sure.
But God, it's one of my favorites. There's another one. I don't think it's on this album. It's definitely not. But
So you've poked around at other albums.
oh my God,
of
I
theirs.
love all of their albums.
Okay.
One of their songs says, "I will hold my own death as a card in the deck to be played when there are no other cards left."
Huh? Pretty tight.
And I was like, "That's sick." But
Say it again for the people.
say it again. No, and he says it over and over, and so like, oh my God, they're so. Whenever like I meet a true music buff, where I'm like, they will go listen to this album. I'm like,
Right.
this one, dude. This one all day, every day. This is the album that represents like all of the weird music I like. Like Portishead?
Yeah.
I love Portishead. Okay. Like that level of like good grime. I really
Heavy on the grime.
on the grime.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. If you look into other stuff by them, like they have one called Paper Hearts. Love Paper Hearts. He's just, a lot of their music is really, really, really good.
Nice.
Really
Very cool.
good.
I'm super glad you had it on your list because who knows? Maybe I never
Would have.
and maybe I play that death card before I hear of this
it.
band.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, man, I've never met another person that knew this band, like prior to me being like, hey, do you know this band?
Whoa.
Never.
Hope you didn't just jinx yourself.
I hope I did. I would love to connect with another
Ooh,
individual.
right.
That's like, I love why. And then we're both sitting there like spitting nonsense.
That would be fun.
It would be really great. Especially like if it was a girl. If I could find another wacko lady who liked that, that would chef kiss for me.
Why? Why girl?
Because I feel like name 3 songs is like, that's the Encompass vibe of music guy. Like, I don't mean to be that way, but anytime I meet a guy who's really into music, they're like snobby about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
They're
one
like,
of the other reasons I do this, to try and lose some of that.
you know, they're like, well, have you heard this band? Have you heard this? Have you heard this? And then like all the time I'm like, checkmate.
Right. Yeah.
Like, this is weird and it's good, so fuck you.
Right.
But yeah, no, I feel like, because I also I think men are a lot more judgmental than women are in that sense when it comes to like that. From what I've experienced, it's so much easier to connect with like a fellow gir's and be like,
Sure. Yeah.
than it is to like connect with a guy without them being like, so you're married? You know what I mean? It's just not. I'd rather make friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I asked, because if you can cut that piece out,
Right.
then it's like peeling away and it's realer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I would rather it be like, don't get me wrong, like I welcome all friends.
Sure. Sure.
But how I think it would be substantially cool to meet another girl who liked this album as much as I do.
Nice. Very
sure.
nice.
Just because like, it's also probably more common for men to like this album. You know what I mean? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm being uber sexist right now.
I don't think so. I think
you know,
that
whatever.
I think that it takes a curious, perhaps passionate person to put this on and sit with it and like just trust that there's
Something there.
value.
Right.
Not that you have to be like, this is great.
No.
But there might be
But
something.
there might be something, because it is hidden. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I won't lie. The very first time I heard any of this, I was like, Good Friday is the only song I like. And then I hered the Vows Part 2. And then I heard, The Fall of Mr. Fist. I like that one a lot. All of them. All of them. Song of the Sad Assassin's really good. Simon's Dilemma is really good. They're all fantastic. And so it's like, what happens is you put the album on to hear the one song, and then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a part of me that was like, this is interesting and this is unique, and I'm interesting and I'm unique, so I want to listen to it. As a adolescent girl who's just trying to develop who she is.
Right.
I was like, no, I'm giving this album a chance, and then it turned out that I really loved it.
Nice. Well, our last stop,
My favorite.
from Cincinnati to New York City, and again, we're going back to episode number 51 with my.
Really?
Ex-wife's sister.
Really?
Who didn't have... She had the super long... The pawn moves the...
That's that one.
No, this is the idler wheel.
Okay.
Right?
Well, the idler wheel has it's a really, really long title, but people call it the idle wheel.
So Eva from episode 51 had a different Fiona Apple.
Heard, okay.
But it's actually a fucking paragraph.
Yeah, okay.
The whole... it's way longer than this.
Heard, okay.
And it has an abbreviated...
I need to see the album cover. But I know all of them. Extraordinary Machine is one that I really like. And then there's this one. And then there's another one where she's red. The album is red. And she's in red. So maybe it's that one.
It might be.
And then her most recent is Fetch the Bolt Cutters.
Okay.
That one was really good.
Point being, you two would probably enjoy
hit it off,
a cup of coffee or something together.
Yeah, right.
This is from 2012. 10 tracks, 42-ish minutes. Let's see here. Fiona Apple, I gotta give you this. Fiona Apple has always been something of an intense personality.
Yeah.
To me, the uninformed, I'm not like a,
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about her.
For sure.
So even if that's from a distance or in a sense of a smattering, so it makes it, not that you need to, frame somebody or identify them as, but who is she to you?
To me?
Yeah.
To me, Fiona Apple is if you took the creative spirit in me and concentrated it. If you were to I am the less pigmented individual compared to her. You know what I mean? She just expresses things in the exact way that I would, I think. And I never felt more heard or seen until I listened to this album.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, she doesn't even know, but she's my best friend. I named my daughter after her.
I was gonna, when you said, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, my daughter's name is Fiona.
Both of my kids are named after fish songs. Which
that's cool.
My bread and butter.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
To me, she's like a hyper emotional, creative, expressive individual that has a lot of problems with love. And when I was growing up, that was my thing. I just really I had a lot of bad relationships, and I was constantly leading people on and making people like me and leaving.
Oh. That won't make any guys mad.
Oh goodness. Heaven forbid one of them watch this, because they'd be like, she's talking about me. That bitch. No, but I made a lot of men mad in my young lady years from 17 to 21. And it wasn't fun. I wanted to be in love. I wanted to be with somebody, but no one was ever right. And I started getting so frustrated because I was like, all of these people are really great options, and why don't I like any of them? What the fuck is my problem? And so I really feel like I relate to her on this. Like there's like she has this I just want to be left alone, but I want to be loved and I want to be appreciated, but like I'm so troubled. And then also there's a lot of like eating disorder references in her songs.
I was gonna say she's gone through some stuff.
So I really relate to that. I feel like I would call it a camouflage personality, where you can really read the room and dictate how you will be based on who you're around. There's a line in Daredevil where she says, "I'm all the fishes in the sea." And man, the amount of times I like screamed that line into my steering wheel when I was young. It was like, look at me, I'm a dancing monkey. I can be anything. I'm here. I can do anything, whatever. But she just has like a whole level of hurt that's different.
Oh man. Like absolutely.
It's just different.
You can't not get a little on you.
Right.
Listening to her.
Right. Like for me, like this is angry acceptance hurt. This is like ignoring hurt. This is like creative hurt. And this is like I'm laying in bed. It is a rainy day. We are fucking sad. You don't get to get out of this sad. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then also like sexy sad in a weird way. Mm-hmm. And like, man, she just does it for me.
Yeah.
She scratches an itch in my brain that like nobody else can get to. The rasp in her voice, the way that she can go so low and so high. I don't think Shadow Boxer is on this album, but Shadow Boxer, in that song, like she just has this low, like beautiful fucking rasp. And I'm an alto, so it's always fun to sing along with somebody who
is in your same wheelhouse.
Yeah. And yeah, this is just she really paints a picture of like people in like a poetically I was like that grimy way again.
Yeah.
And every single night she like describes your rib cage as breakfast in this weird way. All of these artists are so good. All four of them are so good at making these connections and metaphors and these little like.
What did you say earlier?
Creative
metaphor. Shit, you little phrase, a 2-word.
Oh man, I don't know.
Sorry, it's
okay. Recorded. We'll figure it
out. Yeah.
But yeah, like these little like. Yeah, it really is another one of those, like they feed you that melancholy on a silver spoon.
There you go.
And you want to take it. You're like, please give me the bottle. I want more. And like, I mean, just like Hot Knife. She says, if I'm butter, you're a hot knife.
Damn.
He makes my heart feel like a cinemascope screen dancing with the birds in paradise or something crazy like that. Like, and it's this whole, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that album's something, it is very, very special to me. Fiona Apple is very, very special to me. Obviously I named my child after her. But like at the time, I feel differently now. But at the time, if I could have picked any like famous person that I know we would have been friends, it would have been her. Now I feel that way about Chappell Roan. I'm like, that bitch would love me. But I mean, I still feel this way.
Right.
And like regret is a good one. She talks about like she didn't understand like what it meant to regret, and then her partner explains it to her, and then she like, there you go, you've got me to regret. You've led me to regretting. There's a lot of like boiling points that are described within her music. Like you can tell that she is at this precipice of anger within a relationship or within herself or within a situation or whatever. Life. And just the way that she describes things is fantastic. I saw this thing the other day that was like, a Libra is a friend that speaks in metaphors. And I think that that's maybe why, no, because I'm a Libra, but like I'm the same way. Like I very much speak in metaphors often. If I can't get my words out, like that's my first thing to go to. You know, and I feel like she does that. All of these artists do that like over and over and over again. And maybe that's why I feel their music so much and I connect with their music so much. It's like, that's how I communicate too. But
you mentioned writing with why.
Why, yeah.
Do you dabble?
When I was young,
okay,
and I had more like sadness and like misunderstanding of myself, I did. Now I'm like, I should journal. It's healthy. It's good for you. But now I'm like almost too focused on
all the other things
that I have going on. My time, God, it's hard for me to find time to take a shower sometimes. Yeah. Like, I don't have time to sit down with a journal.
I would not have bathed if you would have been on time.
Right. I love it. Well,
I tell you what, I shave in the shower.
Yeah.
My dome and my face. And I didn't shave yesterday. And I was like, but I don't have time today because I'm running behind. And
right.
And then I got out of the shower and you were like, my ETA. And I was like, no.
I'm gonna shave now.
Which, but I've already dried my face.
Oh gosh,
so
yeah.
I was like, I haven't done this since I don't even remember.
Right.
And of course I cut myself.
Oh no.
Because I just barely.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's nuts.
Yeah.
That. That's why I probably annoy folks from time to time in thanking them.
Right. I mean,
because especially if they're not coming from down the street,
right?
And it took something to get here, and then will you sit with me for however long, and then it's so invaluable time, right?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Invaluable meaning like you can't put a value on it.
Right. Okay. Yes. I would agree.
Like
yes,
it's sure money, food, drink, whatever, gifts.
Yeah.
But fucking time.
Right. It's different. Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
Awesome list.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you shared it. I have a series of goofy questions to fire your way, and then we'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
The first is you get to have lunch with anyone of your choosing, dead or alive.
Okay, they're all still alive.
Who's it going to be and why?
It would have to be between Fiona and Elena Sat.
Okay.
Or Elena Sat.
Now, it didn't have to be somebody from your list.
Oh, it didn't have to be somebody from your list?
The whole wide world of human existence.
Ooh. My dad's dad.
Because?
My dad's dad. I think that if I could even get like an inkling of understanding on what the fuck happened, I would probably, but like that seems like it's coming from a place of like uncertainty or like wanting to know more about my family or things like that. I think that it would,
compassion and understanding.
It's
part of it. It counts.
I really just want to, I just want to understand. He died before my first birthday, like a few days before my first birthday.
Wow.
So if we're going family, probably him. But if I want to keep it like famous individuals, man, that's so hard. There's so many good people.
I mean, nothing wrong with your dad's dad as an answer. If you want to throw somebody else in there, by all means. But that is a
top. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know. It would be really hard for me to pick famous people because I'm such a stan for so many women. You know, you could pick anywhere from Chaperone to Taylor Swift to Fiona Apple to Alanis Morissette to, you know, actresses.
Are you actually a Swiftie?
I love Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Taylor
Interesting.
Swift. The first album that I went out of my way to like buy and wait for was Tortured Poets Department.
Okay.
But I loved her growing up.
Interesting.
Like Closet.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Closet.
Yeah.
I was in the Swiftie closet my whole life. Because I had an image to uphold. I liked Ozzy Osbourne. You can't like Ozzy Osbourne and Taylor Swift. That does not coexist. So for my whole
Says the person that led the episode off being like, I like all genres.
Yes, I know, right. No, when I was young, I felt that way.
Right.
But now I understand that like you can like anything and it be okay. But I since her debut album, you know,
Wow.
I had her on my little MP3. You know, you play the whole album debut back or start to finish, and I'm there with you. You know,
Nice.
I fell off more during like her Reputation era and things like that. Like when I was heavy into drinking and drugs, I was not a Swiftie, which like makes sense because she's like so positive.
When you say drugs,
like pretty much everything.
Okay.
I won't lie.
Okay.
Just a dabbler, you know, partier. The only thing I didn't do was meth.
Okay. Probably a good one to leave out of the mix.
That's why my dad went to prison. So it was like one of those things like I refuse to touch that. You know, we've all had our run-ins. You know, I guess maybe not all of us, but we've all had our run-ins. I will always be like a dedicated pothead. I'll always smoke weed, but
that's so weird. You talk about the back roads of Topeka.
Yeah.
And like just the insane, like Tom Segura's got a great bit about.
I love Tom Segura.
Talking to younger generations will never understand.
Yeah.
You know, to get weed, I almost died. Why? Was 7-Eleven on fire?
No.
I used to get in cars with strangers.
Strangers.
And just so you have it.
Yeah.
Now you have it.
That
danger's gone. But then
there's more danger.
Then you go back roads to Topeka and do your thing and terrified of mostly police.
Kansas cops.
Yeah. But also like, you know, there's just a little film of paranoia.
I can't imagine.
What was that? You know,
what it would have been like for me at 18 if there were dispensaries and DoorDash. You're fucking around.
You're not the person that's sitting there.
You know what I mean? Like, I would have been able to drive around, make money driving around, and then go through a drive-thru and buy a blunt pre-rolled for me?
While I'm on the clock.
Are you fucking insane right now? The new level of the new generations have it cush. It's so easy.
Don't fucking tell them
it's
that.
So easy. I don't.
No. My phone wouldn't work the other day for like 3 minutes. It's so annoying.
Do you understand that I used to have to run on an irresponsible white kid's time to get my weed?
Yeah, exactly.
He gave me a 15-minute window, ma'am. And if I wasn't there, then I didn't get anything. And now it's just sitting ready for you when you get off work. There's no communicating. There's no contact. There's no like, I'm here, run it out. What if I get followed? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
have you seen that bit of his?
I don't think so. Maybe.
He goes to get it, and it's a standalone trailer, like not even a trailer park. And the dude, you trying to get a sack? And he's like, yeah. He's like, all right, I got to go get it. And he's like, you don't have it? Isn't that your sole responsibility?
Oh, it's a drug dealer.
He's like, all right, you stay here and watch my place. And if anybody comes in, you blast them. And he's like, on the outside, I was like, that's what's up. On the inside, paralysis.
Yes, no, literally. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, no. Oh man. You know what's hilarious? I still buy my weed illegally today.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't go to a dispensary because when you get older, you just it's just different. You create the connection and it's
I
there.
know.
They're stable.
Yeah.
And then you're not running all over the fucking place. Never mind.
Whole other conversation.
Whole different conversation. Yeah, no.
If we can pretend or imagine that we all have a personal and a professional bucket list.
Right.
You're given all the necessary resources to go knock out your number one on each.
Personal and professional.
What are those number ones?
Man. Personal and professional bucket list. That's really difficult. My professional goals are changing on a regular basis. I've never said it out loud. This must be the first time. I think I would love to work on a horror movie. I think more than anything, I would fucking kill at that. I think one day it would be absolutely incredible for me to help set design or some type of design flow for like a horror set, horror movie, whatever. I do a lot of work at Halloween Haunt with Worlds of Fun. Worlds of Fun has really ignited that passion for me. But I'm a horror movie buff.
Cool.
Love horror movies. A lot of my art is revolved around horror. And yeah, I think my professional bucket list will be like maximum achieved right now, from my opinion, standing here. If I got to work on like a Conjuring movie or
a Conjuring movie.
Have you seen the like Insidious, Ed and Lorraine Warren? No, there's probably like 8 or 9 movies now, but it's like Insidious chapter 1 through 3, I think, and then there's like there's a few Conjuring movies, and then there's The Devil Made Me Do It, and there's Annabelle, and Annabelle Comes Home. Regardless, they're all a part of the Ed and Lorraine Warren series. Fantastic movies.
Okay.
I mean, the artistry in the movies is beautiful. If I've had a sad day and I want to relax, I put one of those movies on. Because if I'm going to be stressed, I'm going to be stressed about Miss Lorraine Warren,
There you go.
Getting Bathsheba out of this mom. You know what I mean? When doing some exorcism or whatever. I'm such a big like religious horror person that like that is my favorite. And those are one of my like all-time favorite movies. So if I could get to the point someday where like I'm working directly with those people or directly under those people, or if any form of the sense are respected, that would be insane.
You mentioned manifesting at the top of the episode, and you've just now said this out loud for the first time.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the first step.
First step.
Got a pretty big audience here on this whole podcast. Probably call you by dinner time.
I love it. No, yeah, it's that would be absolutely insane for me if I could. Yeah.
Cool.
I think that I, on a regular basis, have fucking crazy, wild horror visions anyway of like what could be freaky, what could be scary. I'm just like I'm a senior at being afraid of the dark. So,
well said.
If you don't think that I am like envisioning someone at the end of my hallway every night when I go to bed, you're like literally wrong. Okay. Like,
bringing up some nightmare fuel here.
Yeah. Oh no, I've ruined my brain. My brain is literally just nightmare fuel since I was like little. I was like Candyman, Jeepers Creepers, Saw, put it all on. I want it all. And have like ruined my brain. My when I was little, one of my friends' moms was like, "That's poison for your brain." And now when I'm older and I can't like literally do anything without like images popping in my head of like how this situation could be scary, I'm like, oh, that's what she's talking about. I used to drive down the road when I was young, and if I was alone in the car and it was dark, my brain or mind or whatever, subconscious, would like involuntary picture a large being just like chasing after my car. Why? I don't know. just cause I wanted it to feel a little stressy. You know, crazy,
It's
but
too normal. I don't like it.
it's too normal in here. Everything's too quiet. I bet there's a large beast chasing me. Rear view mirror, you know. But yeah, it would be fucking killer to be a part of like any horror production or whatever.
Now, is that a little bit of both personal and professional, or is that all?
I'm so passionate about my work that like anything into my work is personal. But if you had to like cut it off, like you're not allowed to be creative. This is just for an experience. Maybe like I don't know, meeting like Matthew Leonard at Comic-Con or meeting somebody cool at Comic-Con or going to Universal or something like that. We just don't put like a lot of emphasis on travel. I really haven't taken a whole lot of vacations in my day. So like Disneyland and things like that. I just don't do stuff like that.
Sure.
So Universal would be really cool. You know what? Fuck that. I would love to go. I want to catch like a fish that's like my size, my weight of size. I want to catch that fish.
Why?
Yes, 110%. When I was young, I've fished growing up, but like I have like this like I love it. I love to fish. If there's like a fishing video, like a fishing mechanic and a video game, I'm like all about it. I love it. I would love to go saltwater fishing or like freshwater fishing. I don't know. It's like a gamble. It's like a gamble with nature. It's like Mother Nature brought them to you and you caught them and you're interacting with this wild thing.
You know what my problem with fishing is?
What?
The fucking ocean.
Oh, I'm terrified of the ocean.
Dude, why would
terrified
you fucking want to catch? You'd have to be out there.
Well, okay. Yes, but also no. Because there are ways that you can like set lines, leave a line, go offshore, come back, check your line, whatever. I don't know, but I would love to be like, I caught a fish that's bigger than me.
That's cool.
That would be really cool.
What's not cool is the way that I feel when I see like a reel on Instagram and they're like just 80 miles off the coast. I'm like, somebody help them.
Somebody help them.
80 miles.
Yeah.
They went 79 miles too far.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. Maybe on a smaller scale. I am also, when I said that like I'm a senior at being afraid of the dark, that's really just like being afraid of the unknown. And so like that vast amount of ocean, not to mention that those are the aliens, guys. That's where the aliens are. If you don't realize that by now, you're fucking crazy. The aliens are in the ocean, and they might not be aliens in ships. They're literally just the squids and the sharks. Have you seen them? Yeah. Have you seen the things that live in the ocean? No.
I have.
Nope. I'm cool.
I mean,
I'm so cool.
There's
but I want to catch one.
Nature is metal.
Yeah.
Or the sea. There's several Instagram accounts that just feed me. I'm just the whole time I'm just like
like those really beautiful like swordfish that are like green on like there's a stripe of green and they're like they look like a mirror. Gorgeous, amazing, romantic. I want to catch that. As soon as you start showing me like the vampire squid and like the guy with the light and like anglerfish, that's what that's called. No. Or just like it's like gigantophobia or something where like it's the fear of things that are massively larger than you. Yeah, there's massive things in there. If you think there's not massive things in the ocean, you're so wrong. Like, there's no way. A whale could not even mean to eat you. There's just a lot of plankton right there. Mm-hmm. And your canoe was right there.
I've seen clips where they do, that happens, and then they're like, whoops, and they spit it
out. They're like, oh, human bit.
Yeah. I would too, by the way.
Same.
Ugh.
No, but I think that would be it. Like, if I could plan a whole trip where a lot of it is, like, interacting with nature, or, like, a find. That would be my personal thing. It's like, not even just like, it doesn't have to be a fish. It would just be like a glorious find. If I could find like a fucking awesome arrowhead or, you know, catch a big fish or stumble upon, I don't know, ruins of some sort. Like a little old cabin that still has like, things are preserved. No one has obviously touched this. Like, I think those moments are sent by God. or like by like your higher power,
Yeah.
however somebody wants to say it. God's a lot easier. I've tried so hard to like, you know, the universe, blah 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 blah, like just
the supreme being.
The supreme being. Yes, exactly.
The almighty.
The almighty. Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, the almighty thing that you and I both feel right now. No, I feel like those moments are like brought on by that. And I've had multiple like interactions with nature where like I will be like, what was I supposed to learn? That was not just me interacting with a snake. I was supposed to learn something from that. And I think that like there's no one does it better than nature.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
1,000%.
1,000%. Like cardinals, birds are like big for me. God talks to me in birds. Like if I'm not having a good day,
Birds
like
are so fucking trippy.
Birds are so fucking trippy.
And like just for like 89% of my life, I was just like, they're birds.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, come here.
Yeah.
Figure out what do you mean? Where have you been?
Yeah.
Where are you going from?
Yes, I don't know.
Introduce me to your family, please.
Yeah, right.
Show me how you made your home. That's fucking nuts.
That's crazy. Have you seen like the bird boxes?
Yes.
Where you can like have a camera,
yes,
and it uses facial recognition on the birds and will tell you when they come back and if it's the same bird.
I didn't know that part.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It'll allow you to name the birds.
Wow.
So it'll tell you like when Steve is back. You know what I mean?
Everybody's
Guess
favorite.
who's back?
Everybody's
Back
favorite
again.
canary, Steve. Everybody, put your hands together.
No, but
So watch especially if it's time lapse.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you are working way too fucking hard right now. When are you gonna like have a nap?
Yeah.
Or a snack?
Do they do birdie naps?
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, no. I love birds, and I'm a firm believer that God talks to you through nature is one of the nature and like that intuitive feeling. Like there's a reason that everyone's always like, you know, listen to your gut. And the moments that my gut has like spoke to me highest is when like I'm asking for a sign, and in that moment nature interacts with me, and I'm like, there it is. There's absolutely no other reason for me to ask for anything else. You know what I mean? I
wish I could distill or describe a couple, and I mean a lot, right. but a couple or three wildly profound mushroom-induced moments in nature.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like,
everything is everything. Yeah.
And like, I gotta take this whole quarter acre
and take it.
Show.
No, dude.
Well, but because you can't take a picture.
No,
it won't work.
No,
you can't write about it.
No,
you can't. It's just.
I mean, the best way that I've ever deduced it is I was obviously tripping one time, and it was the middle of the day, and it was cold, and I was camping. Fire in the middle of the day, you can't see flame. You just see like the ash on, like you just see the gray on the log and like a little bit of ember, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mushroom induced. I saw like a full Native American man's face in this piece of wood that was burning. And I was like, he died, his body became this tree. Now the tree is my wood, and now the wood is providing me warmth. And it was like this whole like deduction of what full circle really means and what reincarnation really is. And like all of these. And I was like, holy fuck, it's just a log. But
it's also the answer.
Everything.
You guys.
It's everything. Everything is right here. And like we are all this tree, and this tree is all of us. And like, yeah, it's, you know, I've also had like times where like I'm tripping and I'm like, I need a sign. Like I need something needs to happen. I need guidance. And like, and this time I was like walking through the woods barefoot like a fucking idiot. And in the middle of my path, huge black snake. I got shorts on, barefoot. And I stop and I was like, whoa, dude. Like straight up out loud. Whoa, dude. Like, I'm so sorry. And I backed up, and this snake like also recoiled. And we just left each other alone. And it was like this moment of truly like being aware that humans are not just aware of each other, but everything is aware of each other. And yeah, it was a lot, but from the outsider point looking in, like I just saw a snake.
My bad.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to choose this.
Yeah. Path. Whoa, guys. Sorry. Are you naked?
Yeah.
Chill. You know what I mean? Sorry. I didn't mean to catch a Slytherin, dude. No, but, you know, nature. Nature is that profound, like, my personal bucket list is always to have, like, more profound experiences in nature. Cool. For sure. Because, like, what is better than connecting with God and your higher power and being like, I am seen, I am felt, and I feel and I see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, very cool.
Yeah.
You're given the ability to visit your past self, any age of your choosing. What age are you choosing, and what are you saying?
Ooh, I did this the other day.
Oh, really?
I did this as a meditation the other day.
Oh, cool.
Where like you revisit points in your life and you kind of like cater to those individuals and try to like tell them the things that they needed or like give them like reconciliation of any sort.
A lot of people, that's awesome. I'm glad you shared that. And a lot of people hear that question and they think that the intent is this regret and trying to change no, it's sometimes just
hey, it's okay.
Cater to, what did you say?
Like cater to what they need now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
what does that person
they're
need to
still going to
now?
go make the mistakes and learn the things and meet the people and all, but still in that moment,
right? That
person, even if it's just you're doing good or it's okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah, I don't think I would pick a time. I think that I would just choose to go back before 18 and be like, hey, you're going to be awesome. And there's no reason to worry. There's no reason to outsource. There's no reason to like fight to prove. Just be. Because you just being you is totally enough. And for so long, I just did not realize that. I was like just trying to be more. And then finally I was like, no, this is good. I'm good. If I just do, and that's what I do. I just do me. I just do what feels good. I'm not like, I don't know. I think that, yeah, I would probably just say like, hey, you've got it. Like believe in yourself more than you do. Quit looking outward for validation. Make you happy, because in the end, like making all of these other people, like the men in your life, the women in your life, your family, your friends, literally none of it matters. Right. It is all you. What makes you happy? What makes you lay your head down at night and go, I'm proud to be me and I did good today. And just do that every day. Like, and you'll be good.
That's amazing.
There's no reason to worry. Yeah, I would just be like, hey, also put down the Xanax. Keep your mind sharp, babe.
Oh, man. I remember the very first time, like I worked alongside folks that just fucking candy. Like, and I was like, I don't get it, whatever. And then many years later, when I was legit like
anxiety ridden,
about to fucking come unglued,
yeah,
I got prescribed some, and it's super small,
right?
But it was like, and then it like kick. I mean, like as I'm swallowing it,
yeah,
I felt like just kind of this wave, and then the rest of the shit. Like, I was like, oh, now I understand.
Yeah.
And then I woke up in the morning and I was like, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, that's why.
I swear to God, I used to articulate better. When I was 16 or 17, if you would have met me, you would have been like, are you writing a book?
Meaning.
What is your, like I was just so like well-spoken and really.
You still are.
Well, I appreciate that, but.
I can't speak for 16-year-old you, but.
I really feel from like my own perspective that I used to be so good with my words, and now there are a lot of times where like I'll stutter or my words will get jumbled and they'll flow together in this weird way. And it reminds me of the slurred speech that I used to see from other people and experience when I was on too much Xanax. And I'm like, oh, this is it. This is the everlasting effect. And then also like lapses in memory and like terrible judgment.
I just remember it's that first time and another time or two as well. Yeah. Just getting out of bed and being like, I feel fucking dumb today.
Yeah.
Like just
no. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and eventually it kind of
it was like
falls off. But for a good little while, like fucking don't do that again unless you
need it. Yeah. Yeah. It completely rewires your brain. It that was a hard one. I think like maybe 19. I had just done horrible things to get drugs, and I think I got like 60 Xanax all at once, and it was like maybe 2 weeks of nothing but me taking these pills, right? And finally my mom was like, abso-fucking-lutely not. We're not doing this anymore. You're not yourself. I can't even fucking understand you. Damn. And so I cut right now. It's happening right now.
Yeah.
Cold turkey. And that was withdrawal. Alcohol is nothing. Like that was fucking withdrawal. But I was taking 2 full milligrams of Xanax probably a day for like 3-4 weeks maybe or more. So
bro, I think my prescription is like a
0.25 or a 0.05 or 0.025,
and I break it in half.
And you break it in half.
Yeah,
exactly. No, and I was on top of it, like mixing it with alcohol and still smoking weed.
Yeah.
So
let's go. I'll drive.
I'll drive. Yeah, let's go, guys. Woo!
You guys are taking forever. Come on.
Yeah, come on. But fuck, dude, the way that is what I would really be like, please don't do that. Please don't do that, because that wrecked an area of my brain. I know it did.
It's a site that folks stop passing. They're like, hey, remember? Yeah. That's when we were full functioning.
Why is this canal here?
Some folks say there used to be a rope bridge and it was never very trustworthy. Yeah.
That's where all the big words went.
Yeah. And how to use them.
Yeah, and how to use them, literally. Oh, yeah, that's where all the emotional control is.
Rationality.
Yeah, rationality.
Logic.
Yes, logic. No, I'm really happy that through everything, one thing I've been able to do is put something down when I've decided that I'm done with it. Like other things don't have control over me.
People could fucking kill for that.
Yeah. It's just a choice.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else to tell people. Like, it is truly just a choice. Yeah. If you decide.
I make it all the time.
You know?
And then I'm like, well, where did that guy go?
Right. No.
Like, I'm laughing, but.
Right. No, but like, I mean, some people have literally been like, I'll say that I'm going to get clean and then like, I'll still have a drink here and there. And like, and I'm like, okay, that's your fucking problem.
Yeah.
You're telling yourself that you can do something casually, but you are still acknowledging you have a problem. Those are not parallel.
Right.
There are a lot of things in this world that can coexist.
Those are when you do the opposite magnets.
Yes. Perpendicular.
Yeah.
Those are perpendicular to each other. They will run into each other, and it is going to be one huge jumbled mess of tears and agony, and it's going to fucking suck.
Yeah.
You cannot casually do something that you are addicted to. Right. It is impossible.
Right.
Just don't try. Point blank period. If you know you have a problem with something, don't try to casually do it. Just stop. You know what I mean? People will be like, easier said than done. Okay. Do you know how many times, like, I had my father, who was, I waited 14 years of my life to have him back, say horrible, awful things to me. Like, I was derailing, about to, cave in on myself, and was still like, if I drink, he wins.
Wow.
If I drink, he wins. If I relapse, everybody who thinks I'm nothing is right.
There's that critic again.
There's the critic again, but that's who saves you in the end.
Right.
That is who saves you in. Your little critic that's up in the box, like
The old guys.
the little guys in the Muppets, but their versions of you are sitting up there. Yeah. Those people are going to save your life. It's not the fucking 7 versions of you that are sitting at the table debating. Right. It's that critic up there that's going, you guys are all wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You guys are terrible.
You guys are terrible. You're wrong. You know what I mean? And even to this, like even now, like when when I'm financially irresponsible, those critics will be like, hey, you need an oil change.
Right.
And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
I want to buy magic cards. And they're like, you need an oil change. And I'm like, la 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 la. You know, but they're right. The critics are right.
There's nothing wrong with the oil that's in there. Jesus.
Yeah, God, there's just not very much of it.
Okay. This television program called Fear Factor.
With Joe Rogan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like early in the reality TV. There's a prize if you do the creepy, whatever. This is real life.
Fear Factor.
You're going point A to point B, and in the middle is
my fear.
The most heebie-jeebie ick. What is it?
It's not bugs or animals.
Okay.
Love bugs and animals.
Okay.
I'll sit here and stare at a spider, praying mantis, centipede, fucking roach all day long.
Sure.
Have you ever heard of those like sensory domes where like everything goes quiet, there's no noise, it's black, and you float in a pool of water?
That sounds terrifying and a little bit cool at the same time.
If you're like really into meditation and like binaural beats and things like that, I've heard it's nice.
But everything is shut
everything. But if you told me that except you, but if you told me that I had to be floating, there's nothing for me to grapple or touch. You're pretty much telling me that I'm dead. That's what to me, that's death. Like, I am just me. I am just my brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, that I would be able to do it, but I fear for what I would experience in there. I fear
and the
for
damage that it would do.
I fear for the things I would hear. Yeah. And anybody can say whatever they want about this, but like, I know myself as a clairvoyant individual, and when I am trying to shut my brain off is when like downloads are received, and I will quite literally hear things that I am not, like, that's not my thought. It is outward thought. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Somehow yes.
It is like, I did not put that there. And then a lot of the times, it will sound like kind of radio interference where it sounds like it's from far away and then it comes close and then it goes away. And sometimes it's not even like words. Sometimes it's like and then it'll, and I'll be like, what? And I'll hear it, but there have been times where like, I have been like, I want to intentionally lucid dream. So I want to get myself there. And I have like straight up like heard my name, and it freaked me the fuck out. To hear my own name in my head not being like thought by me.
Yeah. Freaking me out.
But there have been like, and so many times where like, in my life where like that thought was not put there by me. And like sometimes it's truly not even my own voice. Like it just enters.
Weird.
And like I said, sometimes it even sounds like that radio static where like the radio wave is going in and out. And I've had multiple conversations with this about other people, and a lot of people experience this too. And we think in waves. It makes sense for our brains to like pick up a little extra here and there. But I am fucking terrified of like the first things I would hear and like potentially see. If I just like shut everything off like that.
Wow.
Absolutely not. There is no way. Give me the bugs.
Yeah.
Give me the worms. Give me the dirt.
I'll take a wheelbarrow full of bugs.
I'll take a wheelbarrow full of worms and I'll sit here for 30 minutes, but you are not shutting all of me off. It's not happening. Like, it's taking complete control away. I don't get to turn the light on. I don't get to put music on. I don't get to like touch anything. If I was in a chair, cool. But you're telling me I have to float.
In darkness.
In
silence.
nothing.
Wow.
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
That does not sound relaxing to me. That sounds like I'm terrified. And like some people would like beg to differ, like, well, then you don't want to be like alone with like your higher self or yourself or whatever. And it's like, no, there are things out there.
There's more than one way to get down the street. I don't have to walk on this particular
There are
sidewalk.
things in this world that we will never understand.
Yeah. Okay, last but not least, please complete this for me.
Yeah.
The world would immediately become a better place in which to live, if only.
Oh, man. If only everybody had stable and loving parents.
Oh.
I think that would change a lot for everybody. I think that probably every man in history that's ever done anything substantially terrible probably wouldn't have done that if they were like literally just hugged every day as a child.
Yeah. Are you in the co-parenting world?
My daughter's father and I are very much together and plan to be forever.
That's your fiance?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Cool.
Fiance, husband, whatever. We don't want to get technically married because of finances.
Sure.
It's just easier that way.
Yeah.
But married.
Right on.
You know.
Cool.
But yeah, I think that if, most serial killers say that they had to like watch their mom be a prostitute from the closet or something crazy. So like if everybody just had like stable and loving parents and we could all just that would also involve everybody being like stable people.
Yeah.
So if the whole world could just get their shit together, maybe
Be a better place.
maybe it'd be a better place. Yeah.
Very good. So Art Garden KC, we've got artgardenkc.org and then at Art Garden KC on all the socials.
Yeah.
Affordable, unique pop-ups, pop-up market and festivals that feature artists, vendors in the community. Best way to get in touch or keep tabs on what's happening with
Art Garden Instagram. Same
the
way you
IG.
reached me, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If you're an artist or a vendor or a collaborator, just the old DMs.
And beyond Art Garden, I'm really active in the artist community. I'll be doing for the first time ever, Worlds of Fun is opening a gallery, an art gallery, and I'll be curating the gallery.
Cool.
So that's really cool. I'm actively, consistently working on new opportunities for artists in Kansas City, whether that be just maintaining Art Garden in its in the best way possible, or making these, paving the path for new opportunities in places like Worlds of Fun and stuff like that.
Nice.
So,
any other plugs?
Any other plugs? No, not other than the people that I think you would really love to have in here, honestly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Whenever.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm going to write them down for you for sure.
Okay. Last but not least, is there anything that you had hoped that we would cover that we did not?
Not really. I really came into this with complete open arms and ready to share like what was ever asked, and I'm a really open individual that doesn't carry a lot of like shame.
Cool.
So I'm super.
It's heavy to carry it around.
Oh yeah, it's heavy. Just accept that if you were shitty, accept that you were shitty that day.
Yeah.
Damn, move on.
Morgen Agesen.
Agesen, yes.
Very nice to meet you. I appreciate the time and
Yeah.
talk to you soon.
For sure. How much would I bet that's my fiance? Totally is. That's crazy. Right when it stopped, he called.